Okie dokie. Let's see here. We're here, folks. Welcome to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. The show is about to get started, unless you are counting on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube folks. Don't say we didn't warn you. We just warned you a couple of weeks ago. This is election year. Election year is upon us, which means the censors, they've descended from hanging upside down from the top of their censor caves, and they have taken flight to wreak havoc on the villagers. That's us, we're the villagers. So hopefully you're on the email list. If you're not on the email list, you want to get on the email. Art in there, the show notes are in there, announcements are in there, alerts such as getting kicked off at YouTube are in there. So go do that at canarycry.party. You can also join our text message alert system. That's right, another way to be told what's going on. I'm going to send the text message now. There we go. Hopefully we get some of those YouTubers to jump on Rumble or Twitch or DLive or Kick or one of those just endless amounts of places that we stream. If you want to get on the text message alert system, all you got to do is text the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226, and you will just receive an email, or no, a text before every show. Much like everybody just received a text just now that said, don't go to YouTube. Go to Rumble or one of those other places. Gabby in the chat. Yeah, don't worry. I just sent the text. It should be arriving now. Who do we got here? We got Joydar. Hello, Joydar. All right. Man, small group today, folks. It's going to be a small group. Let's get the show started.
Over a span of 4,000 years, encryption relied on methods now seen as rudimentary. In 1883, August Kirchhoff's revolutionary principle of cryptography marked the beginning of sophisticated algorithm-based encryption, which has led to the modern computing revolution. But despite such developments, an ancient document prophesying supernatural events leading to the Great Eschaton stands out. Its enduring message, in stark contrast to our advanced cryptographic era, resonates with increasing significance, hinting at a transcendent truth beyond our complex, encoded realities.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. See, there's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is January 22nd, 2024. We are live to tape on episode 708. And today, SOROS SIMULACRA. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit Films, your favorite agent provocateur for Christ, live to tape from rainy California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomenon, well, happy birthday. It's the 4-1.
Happy
Basil.
birthday.
The 4-1.
You're like a real A real adult, Gonz.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
when I wished you happy birthday earlier when
Mhm.
a producer reminded me that it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And thank you. On the Canary Cry calendar, all the Canary Cry calendar havers out there, they were ahead of the game. But I couldn't remember what age you are, and I just wanted to let everybody know. To me, Gonz, you're still 38. You're just a little baby, just a tiny little 38-year-old baby. You don't look a day under 38.
Oh, thanks. I think my response to you was physically I'm 47, emotionally I'm 22. So making my way up
Yeah.
the ladder there on a
And my
scale
response to
ratio.
you was that averages out pretty well, Gonz. You're doing okay. You're doing okay.
Yeah.
But yes, it is Gonz's birthday. We're all very excited about that. I don't know what else to say about that,
Oh,
except for
we should.
YouTube had a
Yeah.
wonderful
Yes, YouTube.
gift.
Yeah, YouTube's birthday present to
YouTube's
me.
wonderful gift for Gonz.
Yeah, was the the second strike on the channel and the I don't know suspension, I guess, of being able to publish anything on that channel or third channel as
Got a
Canary
strike.
Cry,
Got a
Facebook the
strike.
Sun. Yeah.
Good old-fashioned strike, just like the good old days, Gonz. Remember 2020, 2021, when the threat loomed over us every single episode? When was the hammer gonna fall? And it always did. And I think it was just last week, maybe the week before, we were reminding everybody that it is an election year. So it's going to be another year of having the sword of Damocles hanging over our head at any moment to take us out for stepping out of line. And here we are, didn't even get past the first month of January. And
The first couple weeks.
First strike of the year, folks. Probably many more to come. You kind of forgot. We kind of got maybe complacent with the leniency for truth that had sort of started developing on YouTube. You know, there was some optimistic folks out there about YouTube letting the truth be spoken aloud, but no, not on election year, folks. So
Yeah, especially,
we are
yeah,
missing.
I was going to say, I thought we were out of the pandemic, but apparently we can't. It's medical misinformation was the specific reason, the community guidelines that we violated, apparently.
And
in
it
fact,
wasn't
not
even
us.
us.
It was, it was the old man.
It was L.A. Marzulli did it. He had things to say, but surely he didn't say anything that nobody already didn't know.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if you put this in the appeal, Gonz. You did the appeal, which may have been the reason why we lost the appeal. But look, nobody's pointing fingers.
No, there wasn't an option to actually write anything. Oh, the lag is horrific.
That was the
by the
thing.
way.
I know it is, isn't it? But yes, you're right. There wasn't even an option to explain ourselves. Usually they give you a little text box. You can present your evidence, you know, send them some links to news stories, things like that, some supporting evidence that we, of course, all we ever want to do is repeat the truth from the World Health Organization and the WEF. That's all we're here for, is to propagate the truth from
The
those
facts, Basil.
the facts, the real truthy facts.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, sorry YouTube, told you so. Hope you followed on another platform. You probably didn't. It's nice knowing you. That's like a bunch of the live viewership. It's going to be weird. Look, I love you, Rumble. I love you more than anything, Rumble. I see you, Joydar in the chat. We got Gabby over there. We got, Sir Darren made his way over there. Good job, MSDS. But the Rumble crowd, I think what happens in the Rumble crowd is people will follow our link to the Rumble, watch the Rumble, but they don't take a second, the 10 seconds it takes to start an account on Rumble, so you can chat. And why would you? Why would you want to make an account at, as so far as of now, like the only outlet that will allow truth to be spoken? Why would you want to participate in such nonsense? Because we want to make sure that we're getting filtered information from the World Economic Forum, from the World Health Organization. That's why YouTube is safe. YouTube is safe. We don't want to join Rumble, that wild west of misinformation. It does baffle me. I don't get it. But there you go, YouTubers. Hope you find the show someday.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should disclaim.
By the
anyway.
way, sorry. Mm-hmm. By the way, just so we're clear, this does hurt us. I know people, we're going to get the, like, it's a badge of honor. We know. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for helping to try to make us feel better. We've spent more time getting kicked off YouTube than anybody I know personally, that's for sure. But it hurts us because the YouTube viewership does not take a second to follow somewhere else or get on the text message alert system. Text the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's the word canary to 877-740-3226. You'll get a text before every show and you'll get alerted when we get kicked off of YouTube. That's just one of the many ways. But yeah, that's why it hurts us, is because producers won't find us. They'll just think we disappeared. We had people finding the show again this year in January 2024 who had, when we got kicked off of YouTube in 2020, they just assumed that we were dead, that we were gone, and there was no finding us again.
That's
it
the
took
power
them
of YouTube.
4 years to get back to the show. That's how it hurts us.
Yeah.
Anywho, here's a disclaimer, YouTube.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up,
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys.
Two things, Gonzo. Do you have the automatic volume setting on again?
I thought I turned it off.
Okay, because that whole
off.
thing started loud and got super quiet for me.
Oh.
Again, if you're in the chat, one of the three people chatting in the chat, let us know if there's any anomalies, audio anomalies. You got to know, or you got to tell us, because we just won't know. That's number one. Number two, I had something else to say. Oh, that was another thing. We don't know if this contributed or did not contribute on YouTube, but we did forget to play the disclaimer on the L.A. Marzulli episode.
Yeah,
So
there was the
might
idea of keeping everything clean on that episode.
We're trying to keep
jibber-jabber.
it clean. We're trying not to crowd it up with everything. Once in a while, you guys deserve to have an episode that doesn't have a whole bunch of pitches. But apparently, the disclaimer may have saved us. I don't know. But it's also a shame because it's such a interesting topic to have gotten kicked off. The Nephilim, as it's becoming more and more popular in the mainstream vernacular, which we will see sort of a pinnacle of today, trying to get the truth across about the Nephilim gets kicked off. You know, this is our place.
Unreal.
This is our mission, is to straighten out the mainstream nonsense about Nephilim. And then, of course, it gets taken down. It's very strange part of the whole scheme here. But before that, Gonz, I'll give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
All right, we're starting off with the breakdown coming from Davos. Of course, Alex Soros showing up, sort of emerging as the prince that he is. We'll be breaking down some of his actions, his speeches, and his stutters, which we love so much. Then, of course, Flippy, the Gom Jabbar, has come for us all. Stick your hand in this box and let Flippy do the rest. We got a Nephilim update moving up in the world. A main feature for the Nephilim update during this show. And then a little quick pandemic check. And then at the end of the show, some Antarctica news that will reveal the plans of the rich and famous. But first, Gonz, let me first give a big canary cry welcome and a medal of honor to Sir Dylan, Knight of the Wailing Avian, who, upon being chastised by me live right now on Rumble, he was watching, he couldn't chat, he's a YouTube fiend, and upon receiving my criticism, he has verified his Rumble account, and now he can chat, and he's here. He says, I just verified because you yelled at us, Basil. Yelling at producers works. Right.
Very good. I love it. Welcome. Yeah. And maybe Rumble should help us out by getting the show out on Rumble more. I don't know. Do we have to do something for that?
Yeah. You know what? We got all these podcasters getting deals with Rumble. They are getting paid on Rumble just for being there. Look, I'm not trying to get a check from Rumble, although I would entertain the idea, depending on how many zeros are on that check. But at least give us a feature, put us on the email blast, put us on the front page. Come on. We're a Rumble. We're
customer. We're customers. We've been paying to be on Rumble.
Well, we are Rumble. We are customers, that's for sure. But what are we? We're like the poster children. We should be the mascots of how content creators or podcasters or whatever can save their everything by joining Rumble. We should be put on a Rumble commercial, put like in the arms of the angels, fly away from here. And then it's us, very sad podcasters, appealing our strike on YouTube.
Googly eyes tearing up. There's just water flooding off here.
None of our audience even realizing that we disappear for 3 years from their life, and then we find a home. For just a couple of dollars a day, for value, you can give these poor, sad, abandoned podcasters a home on Rumble. See, get at us, Rumble. Somebody tweet at Rumble. Somebody tweet. I will say this: we have gotten more. I don't know what's the word. We've gotten the attention of people who we've certainly wanted the attention of because of the small handful of Twitter commandos that we have. It doesn't take hundreds of people, but it just takes sort of 5, 10, 15 people consistently tagging us in the view of, that's a part of the reason why Adam Curry came on the show, is because we had our our Twitter commandos out there mentioning us. So it's time for Rumble to put us on the front page, put us on the featured stuff, put us in the email, because we are the Rumble success story.
We had like a Rumble jingle at one point. We've done the whole thing, but anyway. All right. Well, let's just move on and get on with the show here. Enough of us complaining about all this stuff here.
5th gen warfare.
They're targeting you.
5th gen warfare.
5th generation warfare. The battle for the minds of the population. A war of narratives.
Yeah, war of narratives sums it up pretty well here. We're going to talk about some stuff going on at the World Economic Forum. X, formerly Twitter, has become the platform that I guess garners or I don't know.
It's something. It's the best we got right now.
It's the best what we have. Yeah. And the sentiment, at least on my timeline, is a lot of clips coming out of World Economic Forum, a lot of things you'd expect, but also a lot of things you don't expect. This year's been very interesting to see all these people like Malay get up there, and it was weird to hear Klaus introduce him as like, oh, this great victory for, what did he say, libertarianism or something like that? And it was like,
something
weird,
and
Klaus.
it must be mentioned about the Malay thing. I don't think we mentioned it at the time, but Malay, the new president of Argentina, the quote unquote libertarian guy, slashing the government, slashing regulations, talking about shutting down the central bank, all this kind of stuff, hasn't done it, probably won't do that. You'd think, why is he allowed to speak at the World Economic Forum? Why would they do that, knowing that he draws the crowd of people who hate the World Economic Forum? He himself was very critical of the World Economic Forum. But you listen to his speech. We should have brought some clips, but that's okay. The point of this is,
a lot of people
in his speech, in his big razzle dazzle at the World Economic Forum, if you boil down what he said was, we need more public-private partnerships. And that's enough to get on stage at the World Economic Forum. He said all the right things to make the freedom-loving people watch it and scream yay and feel like we're being represented at the World Economic Forum. But if you really listen, his big point was, we need more public-private partnerships. We need more corporations doing the governing. And as long as you pull that line, you're totally welcome at the World Economic Forum.
It's almost better. It's almost better that that's the thing that he's on board with. And then everything else, not really, because then you get that populist, crowd to, I guess, tune in and, that whole thing. So
that's the whole thing. They're really trying to go after the populists. Again, they're ranting and raving about the populists at World Economic Forum, which
probably because they've gotten the most clicks out of them. They're the ones that are looking at all the World Economic Forum stuff.
Absolutely.
They do an analysis.
More clips than anybody. And by the way, public-private partnerships, the World Economic Forum is pushing for a literal form of fascism. People are like, oh, Trump's fascist, or even Biden's fascist, or whatever. Look, fascism is the centralization of government under an authoritarian government and corporations. A capitalist dictatorship is what fascism is. And that is exactly what the World Economic Forum is pushing. And some could argue that's what America has been for quite some time now, but that's neither here nor there. Fascism is not mean tweets, people. Fascism is also not eating ice cream and sniffing children. Fascism is corporations and government working together as one in an authoritarian fashion, which is exactly what the World Economic Forum wants for us. And Malay played right into it.
Yeah. And of course, one of the characters that has gotten a lot of attention in the last couple of days is George Soros' son, Alex Soros. And I clipped the entire 2 minutes here where he's talking about stuff. I believe he's responding to something about technology, what we need to do with the technology to bring more trust and that kind of thing. He says some interesting things about disinformation that I think you should maybe pay attention to. But also I don't know, there's something going on here, something weird happening. So let me play the clip. Play.
But I don't think that's the fundamental. I don't think technology is the fundamental issue in democracy. Democracy is messy. I mean, democracy is about contestation of ideas. It's about plurality. It's about people having different truths, actually. Now, fundamentally, how society lives together civically in those contestations is obviously quite tricky. But I think that if we play too much on this disinformation card, we're taking responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe, in democracy and democratic institutions. On the institutional
before he goes on there.
That is hard to listen to.
Hard to listen to. I thought it was edited the first time I heard it. I was like, is he editing himself? Because
Dude.
it's so he repeats the ums and the the the.
Look, I have had my own battle.
You and
with,
both of us. We both have the problem of and us. And
is a big problem for me. I've been working on it. I think it still happens, but I listen to some old episodes. The are absolutely out of control. It's just a vocal filler. I think it's interesting. He is talking about, I don't know if he says, he's going on about democracy again, and we know that this is just a nothing word now. The United States is not a democracy. It is a republic with democracy as a characteristic. Of course, pure democracy is the worst thing ever. That's majority rule, which means 49% of the people are tyrannized by 51%. That's actually what they want. That's what they want when they want to get rid of the Electoral College. That's what they want when they say Hillary won the popular election, this kind of stuff. Democracy is not... The democracy they're talking about has nothing to do with what, the United States was... Dang it, I said it again. Was built on. But... oh, damn, I said it again. Oh, no, this is going to freak me out the whole episode.
We should create one of these jars, like a curse jar,
Yeah.
I just did it too. Yeah, where we every time we say it, we got to put some money in there, and then we do something with that.
Now everybody's going to be counting them as
cha-ching,
we go.
cha-ching, cha-ching.
Oh, I'm panicking. What I thought was interesting with his message...
Yes.
Was talking about how democracy should be. I mean, it is inherently conflict. That is what conflict, or what our democracy is. It's supposed to be a conflict. Right. We're not supposed to all agree. We're not all supposed to have the same thoughts. That is tyranny. I interviewed a nice fellow actually a couple episodes for Ravel, and he said, war is the inability to have conflict. Having conflict, being able to disagree, work through it, find compromise, America, it's supposed to be conflict, and that's good. It keeps everybody in check. And that's kind of the whole point. But when you don't have conflict, that's when things get tyrannical. That's called war. That's when you just can't stand the disagreement with somebody you have. That's when things go really south.
Yeah,
so he's sort of mixing a couple of interesting philosophical points that I don't necessarily, oh, dang it. He's mentioning things that I think are worth talking about. In between all of the verbal pauses.
Right. The fifth generation warfare element of this, if you listen carefully, he said we as in the elite, should not lean into disinformation and pointing fingers, because it doesn't help craft the narrative that gets people to vote and do things. So he's basically saying the tactic is wrong. Calling out the disinformation is not working. And perhaps that's the rebuild trust aspect of the whole Davos situation, philosophical change or approach maybe. And that's why you get guys like Millet up there and people are talking about it. So it makes sense, but that tactic is interesting.
There's been some other really great quotes. I don't know if you have them or not clipped out, but there's been some great quotes from Davos, even the past couple of days, where they're like, "We own the facts.
Yes,
we own the science."
The lady, what was it? The Washington Post lady, I think, or something.
Yeah, I
forget.
Didn't actually dig into it, but I've seen the clips, which really reveals, of course, how we know that they think. And yet again, we don't care how many libertarians or Malays or that other guy they get on stage. We know they either do or want to or believe that they own the truth and they control it.
There's a little bit more. I backed it up just a touch for Alex Soros here, but let's hear the rest.
To vote and to believe, in democracy and democratic institutions. And on the institutional part, I think that we can talk about institutions as these abstract things, but institutions are also about people. And we just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away. But when I see this, when I look at this,
this part drove me nuts too.
More globally regarding.
Go ahead. Sorry. What was that? It drove you nuts?
There's a part, I think I may have just missed it. Yeah, but he said something like, all these checks and balances are not put on paper.
Not put on,
but
it's not written
norms.
down, but it's customs. Yeah, I thought that was interesting as well.
Bro,
I thought Bill of Rights, Constitution.
It is explicitly written down. It is explicitly ink on paper, these checks and balances. They're not some sort of folk tradition that came up out of the government. It is literally written down, these checks and balances. The phrase checks and balances is written all over the place. In our, if not founding documents,
Mm-hmm.
governing documents. It's just crazy, this narrative crafting he's trying to do right before our eyes. He's not the king. He's still just but a prince. So he's working on his skills, his magician skills. But anyway.
Okay, let's hear a little bit more. There's a little bit more after the whole Trump thing there, and then the stuttering.
When I look at this, more globally regarding democracy, I also say to myself, when was this great time that everybody got along so well, and things were going so great? I mean, I think I think that we really have to be careful here in this nostalgia for a time past, because a lot of the reactions we're seeing in society are actually reactions to positive things like equality for women, and greater diversity, which come with backlash.
Yeah. So of course there's good things that have happened, progress, women's rights, all this kind of stuff. And then they want to bring it back to a time before then, some archaic time that's supposed to be better than it is now. It's a very
nice little straw
tired
man
argument.
there.
It's a straw man in a tired left progressive type of argument, but
and that he's making the statement that yes, these people, they want to go back, they're against equality, they're against women. It's like, no, we're just not into replacing worse pilots with worse pilots or whatever, just based on their skin color.
Yeah So it got to another level here with some of this on X. Alex Soros tweeted out a link to an article by The Atlantic, and he tweeted or posted, I guess, last year, the crime and inflation crisis largely evaporated. So did the leading theories about what had caused them. So that's sort of a summary of the article and the image that populated, because what happens on X is you put a link into the post there, and then it populates a header image or whatever image is associated to the actual site. So The Atlantic had this article, and I have the article here titled "The Great Normalization." And the subtitle there, last year, the crime and inflation crisis largely evaporated. So did the leading theories about what had caused them. And the header image is it's like a double image. On the left is a broken glass bullet hole, and on the right are some dollar bills or some money, a hand holding some bills, a $10 bill, a $20 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, another $10 bill, that is, and then two $1 bills, which adds up to $47. And so Alex Soros tweets this out. Whatever, about 500 hearts, but ratioed there. 8,000 replies.
Nice.
And it's been viewed almost 2 million times. So it definitely got the kind of attention that they wanted to get. But it was the response, the analysis that really, I think, is very fascinating here. And it touches on everything we've been talking about, Basil, in terms of occult sort of breakdowns happening in the mainstream or alt stream. That's sort of for the alt media, this is the bread and butter, so to speak. So there's some big players talking about this, or at least trying to analyze this. So here's Laura Loomer tweeting it out. Analysis, this is all caps here. Analysis of the assassination threat against President Trump by Alex Soros, son of Democrat Party mega donor George Soros. His post tonight is a direct threat of violence against President Trump. And yeah, I was thinking, what in the world? This is pretty intense. And she keeps going here. If you look closely at the photo in the Atlantic article Alex Soros posted tonight, there is a call for assassination embedded in the pictures. Not only does one of the pictures have a single bullet hole through glass, and not only is $47 of cash seen.
Oh, I see.
But there's messaging conveyed through the arrangement of the money.
Yeah.
You see, there's even more. While some of the bills are upside down, I'm going to show the actual thing there while I read this so people can take a look. While some of the bills are upside down with obfuscated writing, quote, States of America is legible on one of the bills. On another bill, the finger is covering the face of the U.S. president. See, symbolism, Basil. And on another bill, the words silver certificate are legible. The $47 in cash is a reference to the 47th president of the United States. That's Donald Trump. Silver is a silver bullet, simple, guaranteed solution for a difficult problem, or a certificate. Alex Soros is conveying that the silver bullet for number 47 or $47 is death, and that a financial award will be paid to the person who does it. This is a threat against the life of President Trump. The son of George Soros, the Atlantic, are suggesting they will give an award to whoever kills 47 because other legible text on the bottom bill with the president's face on it says, quote, will pay to the bearer on demand, a.k.a. a paid hitman. This assassination threat needs to be taken very seriously.
Gonz, I mean, this should be a Face Like the Sun video. This is this is like some old school analysis. Laura Loomer is kind of like getting on the 2012 Canary Cry train here.
That's what I'm saying. This is mainstream now. Well, this is alt mainstream, I guess. Alt mainstream, main alt stream, whatever we decided to call it.
Have a name for it, but yeah.
That's what it is. And it's fascinating because Alex Soros, I don't know that he meant all this. Now, look, there is a connection with George Soros.
Oh,
a
please,
history
Gonz. Oh,
with,
please. We're not on YouTube anymore, Gonz. You can just let it all out.
He orchestrated that. He sent these images to, who's the author here for the Atlantic article? I forget his name. Rogue Karma. That sounds like a familiar name, actually. But yeah. Alex sent him these pics and said, yeah, put these pics in there. I took it myself. Put the code right there on those bills, and we'll send out the magic message to for all the hitmen out there. They'll know what's going on.
You know, and it's, I mean, on one hand, yes, we know this type of analysis can be done pretty much on anything. You know, you can find patterns, and we spend a lot of time doing it, and I'm not belittling the practice right now. But if you were to think that, you know, it wasn't on purpose, there's also sort of the spiritual dimension. There's also perhaps, you know, some NLP types that this would not be that whack if you consider like mass hypnosis, NLP, you know, the whole sort of occult ritual of you know, sending messages in plain sight. It's really not that crazy, although it does feel a little bit crazier coming from Laura Loomer, and I don't know why.
Well, that's because you're sexist, Basil. Only men can break this stuff down, apparently. But yeah, so I do find it interesting that this became a talking point, so much so that it was repeated over and over again on X. So you have, let's see, Tara Bull, basically a hidden message, George Soros, with the screenshot. And I think, what did she get here? She got, a few tens of thousands of views on her post. I'm trying to load it here. What is it? Oh, 1 million views. Okay.
Yeah.
1 million views on Tara Bull. The Gateway Pundit wrote a quick little article on it. And this one got another 1 million views there and about 9,000 shares. You got Cat Turd. Remember Cat Turd? Yeah, Cat Turd. Arrest Alex Soros. 500,000 views. 25,000 hearts.
Okay, so this really is going through the whole. What's the? What did we? I feel
the
like
X-verse or something.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
The alt celebrity thing. We talked about this back when, I forget who it was. It was like Tucker and Alex and Tate and all these people got together and kind of, it started looking a little bit too much like a celebrity class in the alternative media.
Oh, did we call it we called it the alt media industrial complex.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the alt media industrial complex. Yeah, it is weird when something like that just spreads straight through the alt media industrial complex, and it makes you wonder, they're all being fed kind of the same thing. And part of it is with this kind of breakdown and analysis, people love it. I mean, and I don't not love it. That was a big part of sort of how we first started, flexing our analysis muscles or not. However, you got to always keep in mind that you got to dig in pretty deep to kind of make some of these connections. Not to say that they're not real, but it's almost like it became institutionalized, this kind of breakdown, and to have it spread so thoroughly through the alt industrial complex. I mean, did Tucker post it? I mean,
I don't know. I didn't look, but is that your barometer? The Tucker effect is the.
I would think differently about it if Tucker also posted it. That would
that's next level.
Deal.
Yeah,
because there's already talk about Tucker and the CIA. Of course, there's talk of Alex Jones and the CIA, and it would not be crazy if through the sort of same mechanisms, you get the same exact message coming out of the entire alt industrial complex. Well, that's why we like to distinguish between alt industrial complex and independent media.
Yeah, I think Tucker, if he does touch on it, it might be a little later. He's usually a little bit he's not on like breaking.
He is always pretty late, isn't he?
Well, I think that's the point though. He's got a wider audience, and so things lag a little bit for his platform and stuff, which is it's not a bad thing. It just means that, he's got a lot to talk about, and he's got a lot of influence. He's got to handle it properly.
Catching up. He's just sort of catching up to the
He just found out about the Nephilim, Basil. It's all his brain is blowing up right now. You got to give him some time. But you go back to the Atlantic article itself, the Great Normalization, and it really is a boring article about crime rates and inflation and how the economy was booming in 2023, and they're just calling the whole thing the twin crisis evaporated, and no one is sure why. It's like, okay. All right, I don't know if it completely evaporated, but all right.
Yeah, I don't believe that just on its face. I don't believe the data on that.
So this is purely your, if you want to call it Democrat, left, progressive type of rah-rah article. It's really nothing else. And so it doesn't even necessarily praise Biden or anything like that. It's just say, the Fed has done its job. We did not go into a deep recession. We're going to get that soft landing, that kind of thing. And also the crime rate, for some reason, we're not hurting each other as much this year.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, okay.
And of course, as we know, this is all just narrative crafting. They changed the definition of crime. They changed
Right.
the definition of inflation. They've already done it before. They did it at the beginning. They changed the definition of inflation so they could say it's not happening. And now, I'm sure they're doing the same stuff, trying to get these statistics or this narrative more than anything out there.
So crime and inflation, bullet hole, and some cash in a hand. It's very clever. So yeah, there could be some stuff going on there. But again, for that to be, $47, for that to be there's not even a silver bullet in the image. I mean, it says silver, I guess silver something on the dollar bills there. Yeah. But anyway, it is an example. If you're at the University of Exeter and you're trying to get your Masters of Arts and Magic and the Occult, this would be a great example of, hey, this is what we can do in the mainstream. We can take these types of articles or events or Donald Trump waving his hand and having a little red spot on there and breaking down what happened. What's the symbol? What is that blood? What is he trying to do? Some kind of blood ritual? That kind of thing. And then you can show how, oh, look, the idea spreads. Look at this. You could just get all these influencers to pick up on the narrative. And now you have it trending all over the place. And it's not, the Atlantic article is whatever, but it gets all this attention now. It gets all the clicks and everything because of the image breakdown. So
very effective message spreading.
It's like a new tactic. It's not new, but it's a new skin to the old monster there or something. I don't know what the analogy is exactly, but it's a
co-opting of the method. The method of the true independent alt people since the dawn of the internet was this kind of analysis. It's obviously, seeing as where we are in the world and the popularity of questioning the mainstream narrative, it obviously works. And so, they're just kind of taking advantage of the method that works. I mean, it makes nothing but sense to me.
Yep. And we also had, just to kind of top off this segment here, our friend, he's been on the show a couple times, Titus Frost, had a little confrontation with Nikki Haley that went viral. And we'll play the clip here. And I think we might, if we can, we'll get Titus on the show this week for Canary Cry Radio. We'll see if that works out. But here's the exchange between Nikki Haley and Titus Frost.
Good to see you. Nice to see you, Dean. Oh, I love that. We don't get out and vote on Tuesday. It's important.
Yeah. So can I ask you just like a tiny question? Yeah. Do you think it's responsible for politicians to spend like $100 million in Iowa on TV ads, which go to mainly news stations that have lied to us for years, when there's homeless veterans out there that could use that money? When you didn't even come close to beating Trump, and you spent like $100 million in TV ad money?
Do you know my husband's a veteran?
That's fine, but I'm just saying.
And do you know that when the media doesn't tell the truth, the whole reason you put commercials on is to tell the truth because the media doesn't?
My point is, you're not going to be Trump, and all of the money you're wasting could go to better causes.
I appreciate
that would make the Republican Party actually.
You know what? Last I saw, it was a democracy. So we're going to keep working for a good democracy. We're going to work for freedom. But thank you for your service.
We don't live in a democracy, but okay. I guess she's peddling the same thing.
You know what I love about this? Obviously, it was a good opportunity. He was on it. He was bolstered. He was courageous, and I'm very proud of him for that. And yeah, obviously, we want to get him on the show. If he's watching now, come on the show, buddy. And if anybody out there, knows him, follows him, don't bug him. Be nice. But yes, we would love to get him on the show. What I loved about what this video revealed for me, or revealed the veil falling from the illusion, more than anything, the look on her face when she figured out what was going on,
so good.
Hilarious, priceless, absolutely priceless.
Yeah.
But her insistence that the media lies,
yes,
but advertisements tell the truth. If there was any sign from God above that Nikki Haley is controlled and in bed with the establishment, the public-private partnerships, the World Economic Forum, honestly, the Democrats are voting for her. If more than any of that stuff, when she says, yeah, the media lies, but the advertisements tell the truth. What are you talking about? And I think she believes that. She really was convincing with that.
This is how you justify spending $100 million on ads. The media is not telling the truth, so we must. We got to spend $100 million somehow, guys. Let's make it happen. Start writing those checks.
Out of this world bonkers that simple phrase coming from her mouth is so indicative, not just of her personal place in the race, her personal place on this earth, her personal feelings towards, her duty to tell the truth through advertisements, but also the principalities and powers that have so wormed their way into her psyche and into her spirit, twisting the illusion upon illusion upon illusion that this woman is operating from is absolute. It was grotesque. The media lies, so the advertisements tell the truth. That might be the most dangerous idea that I have heard in a long time, because of the absolute cataclysm that would come from people agreeing with her. Yeah, media lies, ads tell the truth. It is such a brilliant twist to, she can say, yeah, the news lies, the media lies, get the Trumpers, Republicans, vote for me, the media lies. But ads tell the truth is so revelatory to how dangerous this woman is. Now, obviously, she's nowhere near winning, barring some very specific cataclysmic circumstances. She will not be the Republican nominee, but really, Lord help us if she is. That is terrifying.
And I wouldn't put it past Trump that he doesn't think the same way. All these politicians.
Possible. Yeah, it's possible. He's doing a better job at hiding it. That's for sure.
Well, I think his method of reaching out is obviously different than the traditional way of doing things. Nikki Haley's operating from the more traditional, I guess, trad ad. Is that a thing? Traditional advertising?
Right, yeah.
There's a newer form, which is more of the viral marketing, that kind of thing. But she's operating from the corporate
just the
standpoint.
The distrust in sort of corporations as a whole, which Trump at least exudes that to his fans. But for Nikki Haley to stand up and say, yeah, media lies, but the advertisements tell the truth.
What's interesting
needs to guide us through this.
What's interesting too is the one point of contention I saw a lot of people take the side of DeSantis with over Trump is the vaccine issue, which has been a point that I think more people ignore now because of, I don't know, but it's just they get caught up in the fervor or something. But now that DeSantis has stepped down, just for the record, he stepped down from running and he endorsed Trump. It's almost like consolidating that entire conversation back into Trump's hands. So very interesting time.
Yeah, there is a whole conversation around that, but we'll save it for something else.
But just to touch it back on the Nikki Haley thing, she did mention as a response to Titus Frost here that, her husband was in the military, and it was, I don't think they were scrolling on X the morning this happened or this little meetup happened, because on X was trending the Nikki Haley's old affair rumors gives MAGA new ammo. So everyone's talking about how Nikki Haley was unfaithful to her husband. And so Titus Frost had a second opportunity for a little zinger there, but I don't think nobody in that room probably was up to speed on all that stuff breaking at the time.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, again, he's talking about helping out homeless veterans, and she's like, "Well, my husband's a veteran. Is your husband a homeless veteran? You should probably
that would have been a good comeback too. Yeah,
you probably should give him a break. Then give him some $100 million. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it for the top of the show.
Okay, let's take a second and remind everybody what day it is.
Gary, What day is it? Monday. Monday. Monday.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Gary, what day is it? Monday. Monday.
It's Monday, folks. We hope you enjoyed the L.A. Marzulli interview from last Friday. If you didn't catch it before it got pulled down on YouTube, just remember it's everywhere. We got it on Rumble. We got it on the RSS feeds. If you're a podcast listener, which I highly recommend, you subscribe to the podcast feed there over on your favorite podcatcher. You know, it's crazy. I'm listening to lots of podcasts, of course. I listen to lots of podcasts. It's I consider it part of my job to kind of stay up on where the conversation is across the board. And the sort of gloom that comes over me when I listen to, say, Crystal and Sagar over at Breaking Points or something, and they start their show with 3 pre-roll advertisements. You press click, boom, it's immediately goes through 3 advertisements. It's insane to sit through, which of course I don't. But every single advertisement is for another podcast, some celebrity who's starting a podcast. Yeah. And so, you know, it's not even products. Like the corporation, like the advertising industry, they're kind of like, everybody skips these anyways. I don't know. We can't really make a lot of money. The podcast advertising industry is tanking right now. Everybody knows. And so they're not even advertising products. They're advertising other podcasts, and they are just horrible ads. They are nothing makes me want to listen to their podcast less than listening to their advertisement. And of course, they're all iHeartRadio, you know, corporate podcasts given to celebrities or previous celebrities or celebrities whose fame is waning. You know, the podcast is sort of their second chance at gathering up all their fans and trying to make something of it, you know. So it's very sad to watch and listen to, but it drives me absolutely bonkers, which makes me that much more grateful, Gonz, for the having to sit through these ads. And they, between every article on Breaking Points, every single article ends with the same 3 advertisement slots. They play it like 6 times in the episode. It is absolutely bonkers. And among the sort of mainstream, not even the alt mainstream, but the real mainstream, Crystal and Sagar over at Breaking Points are considered like the poster children for independent success. They went independent in like 2022 or something. They were so brave going independent during the pandemic. And look, if independent means having 6 marketing breaks in your podcast to advertise the 3 same other podcasts, I want nothing to do with it. So thank you, everybody, for making this show possible through value for value, baby.
Yep. Before
Gonz,
we
got anything to share?
I do actually, real quick. Don't ever order stickers from Amazon because they will likely be printed in China. And my wife ordered some Bible stickers. And here's a couple of them that came in. First one was Matthew 5:13 through 14. Sati and lit.
Is that Is it supposed to be salty and lit?
It's supposed to be salt and light, but it's Sati and lit. And also, another one that reads blessed and hankful. They forgot the T.
Hankful. Propane and propane accessories.
To that point, somebody actually made I'm trying to find it now. Yeah, somebody made a Hank Hill holding a little thing of salt with this shirt that says blessed. And he says Matthew 5:13 through 14. Yeah, tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Well,
there you go.
That's why you got to join the Supply Drop, folks, or the Babysitters Club, because we send out good stickers. We send out awesome stickers made by our producers. Not Sadian Lit, but Sadian Lit is pretty. It's a pretty good sticker.
Blessed and Hankful's not bad if your name is Hank. You know, I think that's a great one.
I want to take a second and thank somebody for leaving a rating and a review, and also to remind everybody that the rating and review sort of grab bag thing is going on until January 30th. Sir Ike over at the Supply Drop he cranked it up, baby. We're cranking it up to 11. So if you've never left a rating and a review for us on Apple Podcasts or wherever, go leave a rating and a review. Maybe you're new. Maybe you're old. Maybe you're a baby who's been listening for years. I don't know. But if you haven't left a rating and a review yet, please do that. And then screenshot it and send that screenshot to canarycrysupply.drop@gmail.com. And Sir Ike, you will be entered into the drawing, I believe. That happens on the 30th of January. And, we got a bunch of sort of stuff left over from things like the supply drop or manufacturing stuff. I don't know what is getting sent out this time. Maybe I can get a hint so I can let people know. But all you got to do, leave a rating and a review for your favorite podcast here. 5 stars would be excellent, but you don't have to give 5 stars to be entered into the drawing, obviously. But we had our first review since November 10th, Gonz. First review since November 10th is by Patrick, 5 stars. And this I thought was really great, actually. It says, "My new home. Watched Age of Deceit on a camping trip in the dark a couple of years ago. Whoa, it was a little too much for me to take in at the time. Then on the same trip, I saw a UFO. Later, a friend and I bonded over so-called conspiracy theories, and he introduced me to Canary Cry News Talk. That's a good friend. You've got a good friend. If you're new to their flavor content, it may take some time to understand what they believe about a variety of things, and it may cause you to dig into your own Bible to find answers." Booyah! That's the key, folks. We don't got to agree on everything, but as long as it instigates you reading your own Bible, and we did our jobs. It may, It may make you think you're crazy for a while as well, but if you stick with them, you'll find yourself more rooted and grounded in the Word of God and much more prepared for the great deception coming to a world near you. Love these guys. Also check out Canary Cry Radio and start with some of their earlier interview podcasts. Yes, I recommend that as well. Thank you very much, Patrick, for this excellent rating and review. And send it on over to Sir Ike at canarycrysupply.drop.com. Sorry, canarycrysupply.drop@gmail.com. And you'll get entered. And we recommend everybody do this. It's been a long time since we've done a rating and a review push, but if we ain't pushing, they ain't coming. That's for sure. Anything to say about that, Gonz?
No, great review. And we did play the Age of Deceit 4 trailer at the top of the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got
Speaking of
some
ads.
tastes. Well, everybody is sitting here waiting. Of course, the supply droppers have now received Age of Deceit 1, 2, and 3 on DVD for being a part of the supply drop. And coming up, the next supply drop, which will be at the end of this first quarter, they'll be getting Age of Deceit 4. We've got some other exciting stuff to talk about in regards to that, but we'll do that, I think, on the next episode. We got to make sure to get our details, our ducks in a row here. But Gonz, you've been working hard, man.
Trying. There's a deadline, making it happen.
There is a deadline.
Do you want to see the trailer again, or do you think we should save it?
Play it. No, I don't think many people saw it at the beginning, and I think the podcast listeners will appreciate it.
All right, here we go.
Over a span of 4,000 years, encryption relied on methods now seen as rudimentary. In 1883, August Kirchhoff's revolutionary principle of cryptography marked the beginning of sophisticated algorithm-based encryption, which has led to the modern computing revolution. But despite such developments, an ancient document prophesying supernatural events leading to the great eschaton stands out. Its enduring message, in stark contrast to our advanced cryptographic era, resonates with increasing significance, hinting at a transcendent truth beyond our complex, encoded realities.
Age of Deceit 4. Booyah. See, folks? He's doing it. I think the Gonz narration voice is triggering things in people that they have not had triggered in a while.
Yeah,
Gonz
there is a
narration
difference.
voice is very specific.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was a true thing until I mean I just do it, so it's just a thing. But
right,
I didn't know people felt strongly about that. So cool.
So do you want to maybe do just a quick little review? Maybe tell people like what this Age of Deceit's about, or you want to roll it out sort of over a number of episodes?
I'll probably do it over a few episodes, and maybe supply droppers get a little bit more as time goes on. But yeah, it's basically looking at the history of encryption and cryptography and how it plays a role.
Very big deal. It's a very big deal coming up. It's all wrapped up in CBDCs. It's all wrapped up in digital IDs. It's all wrapped up in the Bible and Bible prophecy.
Yeah. The bigger picture, and I've made the points over many episodes over, I don't know, a couple years or so. But looking at the idea of immutable ledgers that are so popular now, blockchain, all that kind of stuff. But then comparing it to the actual supernatural ledger, it's called the Book of Life, and it's recording everything. It's kind of a trippy thought. So exploring all those things. And then the counterfeit ledger of life is kind of what we're building as a mirror to the real thing. So
we are
exploring it. Well, not we like you and I, but I'm saying humans. Yeah, humanity.
Yeah.
Is building the counterfeit ledger of life, which is a surveillance nightmare. So there you go. It's those ideas that we explore in the film.
It's going to be great, folks. It's going to be good. So stay tuned. We'll have some more news about that in the coming probably days, hopefully.
Hopefully, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that might be enough jibber jabber. Is there anything else to mention?
Nope. I think we should think,
I will just real quick mention we've got the Jefferson City, Missouri meetup is coming up January 30th. As far as I know, that is still on, folks. And I'm just going to keep reminding Missouri listeners, or if you're near Missouri or want to go to Missouri, there's the Canary Crime Missouri meetup. It's, it is a knock and shock. It is getting involved. It's going to your representatives in Missouri, telling, this is some real local active politicking here going on. Of course, it's, Tuesday, January 30th. Contact Sir Ike at canarycrysupply@gmail.com. No Jan 6ing on Jan 30. No Jan 6. This is not a protest. This is not, anything like that. This is participating in local politics in a way that can actually change the community. Or if you don't want to show up to that, you can go to Ari's Pizza at 4 p.m. downtown Jefferson City. Go to canarycrimemeetups.com to get more details.
Yep. Let's see. Let me see the... Hold on.
Oh boy, that one had quite the buzz on it.
Fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. We better get cruising. Thanks some executive producers.
Executive producers.
Folks, we are on the value for value model, which means we do not take any money from corporations, commies, or cartels. No, we are entirely funded by listeners of the show. And not just listeners, producers of the show, people who get value. If this is outside of your regular economic paradigm, we are not getting paid by anyone who does not receive value directly from the show. It's a biblical concept. I mean, it is a paradigm shift. It is life-changing. And you're going to need to start thinking in value for value terms at some point, and it's specifically the value for value philosophy that is not just an economic doorway, but also a spiritual doorway out of the mammon-based beast system all around us, where money magic rules the world and also rules our minds. This is trying to disconnect from those ancient principles of, corporations paying us money to get access to your attention and your trust. No. You own your attention and trust here at this show. And if you get any value from the show, consider putting some value back in. You can do it with your time, your talent, or your treasure. It's not all about money. Lots of ways to get involved. And you can always go to canarycry.support to learn more. Canarycry.support. But executive producers are folks who get so much value from the show that they give $100 or more for any individual episode. And that's why we like to thank them here at the top. And Gonz, it's your birthday, so sit back, relax, and get ready to be showered by happy birthday messages.
Yay!
Yes. Of course, we're going to start out with the one, the only, the Master and Commander, Sir LX Protocol V2, Knight of the Breen Protocol. Yeah, he comes in with $100.33. Illuminatus! And man, oh man, the streak continues. Sir LX Protocol has supported the show for 256 episodes in a row, and 52 of those have been executive producer streaks. Yep. Thank you very much. Executive producer, Sir LX Protocol V2, Knight of the Breen Protocol.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Sir LX Protocol.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir LX Protocol. Next up, we've got the Sentinel.
Hey, the Sentinel. Thank you very much.
I don't recall if the Sentinel has been knighted. Do you? You looking fine. Go look at the round table while I do this.
Okay.
Thank you very much, the Sentinel. He's back, folks. He comes in, he supports for a nice round number. And if you're new, if you support the show for a nice round number, that is you telling us you would prefer we do not disclose the amount on the show. If you don't mind us disclosing it, make it a funky number, like Sir LX Protocol, put on 33 cents. You can do 77 cents, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that to send a message. But the Sentinel comes in with a note and says, of course, Gonz, happy birthday.
Hey, thank you very much.
Use this to treat your wife on a date, or y'all can use it for babysitting, or Basil can use it for emu food, or I guess you can use it for all of the show's back-end fees, too. It's y'all's to do with as you please. But I hope you, Gonz, get some quality time with Mrs. Gonz. Happy birthday, the Sentinel.
Hey, thank you very much. I will maybe consider that. Yeah, I'll pass it on. I'll tell her, be like, hey, we need to leave the children in that hole we dug in the background or backyard.
No, you don't need the hole anymore. You have a babysitter.
Oh, right.
You can give it to the babysitter.
Well, we can put the babysitter in the hole with them, and then they'll be safe.
If that's what they're into, that's fine with me. Next up, we've got. Oh, do we have a jingle? Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Where'd you find this?
I didn't see him on the list of knights and dames.
Okay.
But, yeah.
By the way, folks, I know you're tempted to skip this segment. Some people choose to skip the producer segment. That's okay. You're missing out on a lot of important stuff, and it'll become apparent in the next couple producers. But next up, we've got executive producer Sir Marty K, Knight of the Wrong Timeline.
Thank you, Sir Marty K.
And Sir Marty K comes in for a 1/1979.
Hey,
and
cool.
we learned...
Yes.
From Sir Marty, who's one of our Euro producers, that, they do the dates different in Europe. So this is, let's see here. We'll find out.
I have the note here.
1979. I know, I'm reading the note now. 1979 is the year I was born, says Sir Marty, created by God and with no horns. The day I was born is important for both Christians and foe. After this riddle, let's get on with the show. In Europe, you write the day you are born first, and then the month, and then the year. So in the USSA, 11/9/1979 becomes, anyone? Bueller.
9/11.
Yeah.
1979.
9/11. He was born on 9/11,
Oh!
1979. That's funny. We must have known that. He must have shared that with us before. He ends his note with, "Thank you and God bless you for this great podcast and letting me be a part of it. Yours truly, Marty K."
Thank you, Marty K. Appreciate that.
Where'd you find this?
Okay, next up, we've got a producer, another producer we have not seen in a little bit, and that is Sir Igorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs.
Hey, Sir Igorius. Thank you very much.
And Sir Igorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs, comes in for 33333, $333.33. Whoa!
Illuminatus!
Thank you very much.
It's double.
Yeah, it's
double Illuminatus.
Might even be triple.
Triple Illuminatus. I don't know about the math there, but yeah.
Our triple Illuminati handler here, Sir Igorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs, old school. I think he came in like maybe the first round or two of Knights and Dames when we started going. But thank you very much, Sir Igorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs. I'm just double checking to see if a note came in for this. Did you see a note from Sir
I did
Igorius?
not. I'm just looking at how Sir Igorius became a knight on episode 375. So
what was it, 375?
Episode 375, yeah. So it's been a few
time.
hundred episodes.
That was definitely in sort of the first generation of Knights and Dames.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Ooh, you know what? What's interesting. That's 333 episodes ago.
Whoa.
I wonder if he meant. Maybe he meant it. Maybe he meant to do it.
Maybe. Sir Igorius, you got to let us know, because that's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Counting you did there.
Yeah.
Came in for 333, 333 episodes since he got knighted. If he didn't know that, that is crazy. And he needs to start, paying attention to what's going on.
Playing some poker or something.
That's some sort of signal for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Igorius, for your generosity and for showing your face. Thank you.
Did we give him his thing yet or no?
Not yet.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you very much, Sir Igorius.
Nice little happy birthday, Gonz.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot. We always pull out, not all, I don't know. It's probably always. I'm always talking about the January schlumps. And I think it literally is your birthday every year that saves us on this month.
That's possible, yeah.
Good timing.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Okay, next up. Wait, let me make sure that I'm getting this correctly. Yes, okay. So next up, we've got executive producer, Jamie G.
Jamie G, thank you very much.
Jamie G coming in again. And I'm wondering, is Jamie G? No, okay. So Jamie G, he comes in, I think, every week nowadays. So thank you very much for that, executive producer Jamie G. Now, Jamie G sent a great email, which was very long, but thankfully, I think I can summarize it and then come in at the part that I can't summarize with his email. So Jamie G, by the way, everybody, Jamie G has been around the Canarium forever, like at least a decade. He's one of the old timers. Now we've got a nice collection of old timers who are still sticking around. They were here for Canary Cry Radio Days, doing interviews. They, stuck around when we started doing crazy stuff like News Talk, and we're really blessed. I'm honestly blown away that people have stuck with us for this long. So thank you very much, executive producer Jamie G, for that. Also, by the way, I'm going to summarize some things, but if you want to listen to something that is incredible, a great testimony, a great tale of how God works in people's lives, I actually had Jamie on the Joyspiracy Theory podcast. For those who don't know, is a podcast I was doing up through 2019 and kind of went on hiatus there. Still thinking about bringing it back here. Got a lot of people asking about it. But the Joyspiracy Theory. It's like conspiracy, but with joy, you get it. You can find it on your podcatchers. And the Joyspiracy Theory versus Jamie, episode 16. I sat down for a couple hours, and Jamie and I had a great time. He told me a lot about his testimony. And he comes in. First of all, he is now officially knighthood status, Jamie G. He has reached knighthood. I think he reached knighthood quite some time ago.
Yeah.
And he was like a handful of our supporters. They don't sort of claim the honor. They just kind of support the show, and they don't, whatever. He's one of those. He's being very casual about it. But it's very much our honor to knight you, Jamie G. So I think we'll do that later on in this show, if not this week. But he starts out with this. Tweet, Canarians. I wanted to share my testimonial. I don't know what percentage of listeners are actually followers of Jesus Christ, but for anyone struggling in their walk, for any non-believers that are willing to plant a seed, hear me out. And he tells this great story, which I really recommend people go listen to the Joyspiracy Theory, episode 16. But he tells his testimony about growing up Southern Baptist, but not really even caring about God or anything, and hanging out with some other kids when he was young. And his friend's brother drew a picture of an angel who had gotten sort of hit by a plane, sort of a cartoon, of an angel. While Jamie thought it was funny, his brother's friend did not. And we got into a conversation, and he asked us if we've ever accepted Christ. I didn't even know what that meant, he says. So he told us what to do, and without even thinking about it, we got on our knees, closed our eyes, and asked God into our lives. When I opened my eyes, I opened the floodgate of tears. I couldn't explain it and had no idea what just happened. That was my first spiritual experience around 6th grade. I started attending church a little more regularly and got properly saved and baptized. And then his freshman year of high school, he started listening to Coast to Coast AM, getting into the fringy weird stuff, above topsecret.com. And so, you start kind of exploring what's going on. He's pondering the unexplainable side of our existence, but not talking about it. Doesn't want to get judged, But let's see here. One day during my sophomore year after high school, tennis practice and a 3-hour walk home, I got to my room and fell on my bed. I immediately fell asleep. Only I wasn't actually asleep, I just couldn't move. That was the first time I experienced sleep paralysis. Since I already had been down the rabbit hole and learning about these things, I kind of knew what was happening. That doesn't mean the utterly terrifying feeling of dread and some sort of overwhelming evil around me wasn't there. Sleep paralysis, folks, you know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. He just had to power through it, no fear. It was very difficult trying to get up when I couldn't move, but when I quit trying to push my body and instead pushed my spirit, soul, consciousness, I popped out and was floating above my body. It's a strange thing looking at yourself from a different perspective other than a mirror. The feeling of evil presence disappeared and was now at peace, felt better than I ever had. I have type 1 diabetes, and that was sorely unregulated. So not feeling my body and its issues was a huge relief. And he tells this story about how he flew in his sort of spirit form and basically went and saw his mother, like flew to his mother's house and sort of observed her. And then when he came out of this whole thing, he knew that his mother wouldn't judge him. And basically everything he described that was going on at that time, she was real. Like she was confirming all of that. So that was crazy. But this got him sort of dabbling in more new agey stuff and
of course,
darker stuff like you do, like it does. And then he tells a story about how in his early 20s, he had a great job as a CNC mechanic mechanist, but my passion was music, so I quit a promising career to pursue the slim chance of being a successful musician. We talk a lot about this in his episode too, and it was interesting because we did this episode, I don't know, like maybe close
It
to
says right there.
2017.
Yeah, April 17th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so he talks about his struggles with scabies, like ongoing skin issues, and how this was, felt very violating and invaded to have all these little mites all over him. He couldn't sleep for more than an hour at a time. He only took showers once a week because it would irritate the mites. And there was this whole, just really sucky thing. So at this point, I had already a nearly fatal diabetic episode called diabetic ketoacidosis and woke up in the hospital with dislocated ribs, 50% hearing loss in one ear, coupled with severe tinnitus and ruptured esophagus that was spilling stomach acid into my chest cavity. I was praying for death because of the immense pain during the time. I only bring that up to say that I'd rather go through that again than deal with the scabies. My goodness. I've never contemplated suicide before this moment. The thought was so real that I tried to plan on just disappearing, to just keep everyone from knowing I killed myself. And I tried to maintain whatever honor I thought I had. I was alone in my room, on my knees, bawling hysterically, because I knew that was it. That was it. The moment that defined what I know now and will take to my grave as truth. I heard what I can only describe as the voice of God. It was an immeasurable fraction of time that can't put into words how quickly it came and went. I received what I call a God slap. He showed me what his love felt like. My parents loved me more than anyone, but their love is nothing compared to what God showed me. Without hearing actual audible words, he told me that I was going to be fine. I was on the right path and doing everything I was supposed to do, and that I never had to really worry again about all the things that confused me about the bigger picture. I also had a vision of myself walking away from his close comfort to be, quote, in the wild, with a Bible in my hands. It took me a few days to settle back into some sort of normal human thought, and not to sound like a madman, it was then I started to notice the scabies, or lack thereof. I'd given up on any treatment because I was hopeless by that point. 2 weeks after the God slap, the scabies were gone. Not only did it stop me from killing myself in the most supernatural way, supranatural, he says, I also got a bonus miracle, healing just to drive it home, that it wasn't some sort of brain malfunction. And from there, he knew that he had hope and purpose. And, let's see here. In 2012, I had my second run with the diabetic problem, the DKA, and was in critical condition for 3 days in the ICU. When I started recovering, they moved me to a regular room that had a television. I never really cared to turn it on, but woke up one night in the middle of the night to Joel Osteen on the TV. Before you say, please, no, God tells us he will use anything and everything to bring us to him. That includes a mega-church pastor that does not preach the full gospel. He got the gears turning in my spirit. Now I wanted to look into who Jesus really was. This may sound equally as ridiculous, but then I left the hospital. I bought the History Channel's miniseries called The Bible on DVD. The moment Jesus first appears, which is within the first few minutes, I started crying uncontrollably again, like the night of the God slap. But this time there was zero sadness in my tears. That whole decade of searching for answers and only creating more questions was finally over. I knew Jesus was my goal. Almost done here. Now, the whole reason for wanting to share my story is because of this. When I discovered Gonz's Age of Deceit, it answered every question I still had about all the things I had previously learned and experienced. That, of course, led me to our fearless leaders of Canary Cry, my outlet for contributing to the kingdom. Initially, I wanted so bad to be a part of their two-man operation that I donated money, that I didn't really have any hopes that I would become some kind of important member of the team. I remember this. This was a long time ago, and Jamie G was sort of one of the very first people who kind of made a significant investment in us at the time. So it was very meaningful to Gonz and I. That was a decade ago, and I still cringe thinking about my lack of knowledge and understanding of what Canary Cry was doing. Fast forward to now, I'm still struggling to walk like Christ and think and feel and act as I should, even though I've never lost my faith since I truly found Christ. I've been struggling more and more, and I started questioning again, what if I was doing wrong? Until recently, I was reminded of the only time God says to test me. So I don't misquote God's word or try to turn this into a Bible study. I encourage you to look more at Malachi and hear what God says about tithing. Yes, tithing. There's a lot of different thoughts about tithing, but Malachi is sort of the go-to zone. Canary Cry is the only thing I've ever given to in the name of the kingdom, but it's always been when I thought I had extra to spare instead of my first fruits, or 10% off the top, like God says. Since I started properly tithing only a few months ago, things started falling into place for me. Mentally, physically, and even things I don't know I needed. And honestly, I wasn't doing it for the blessings or healings. I was doing it because I felt like I didn't have much time left to make an impact on the most important thing we can possibly do, which is planting seeds in the name of Jesus. To me, Canary Cry has been the most impactful in my life, and I believe has the potential to open up even the most closed-minded of non-believers to God's truth. I know how stressful it is to commit 10%, but if you don't already tithe, please consider giving it a shot. Even if it is not to the show, find something that you feel is worthy of your commitment to God's will. You'll be surprised in the most unexpected ways. Thank you all for everything, regardless, depending on... he gave us the choice of whether to read this or not, but thank you for your story, Jamie G.
Yeah,
now,
I appreciate it.
I totally recommend... Now, I don't know if Jamie would recommend this, but I recommend you go listen to TJT versus Jamie, episode 16 from 2017 of the Joyspiracy Theory. You'll get a lot more in-depth to a lot of the story he just told. But, I really appreciate it. And we usually don't read such long notes, but testimony is kind of a different thing, And here's the thing. There are some people who have chosen and do choose to officially tithe to the show. And that is purely a personal journey. Some people don't even really believe in tithing. Some people, feel like you got to tithe to your home church or whatever, stuff like that. And that is all good. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Those who do choose to put their actual sort of tithe money towards the show, we take this very seriously, and it really grounds us and makes us sort of ponder constantly whether or not we are using the resources correctly. And I can't say that we are perfect at that, but we really don't take the sort of spiritual significance of tithing lightly. And especially after hearing Jamie G's, testimony here, I wanted to make sure that, that everybody sort of hears how intense a choice like tithing is, and also the sort of journey that some people have been on for their entire lives. And to hear that we've been any part of that at all is really, really humbling. It's really easy at times to just think, oh, we just kind of do a show. We do a stupid podcast. I know. It's embarrassing to tell people you do a podcast because there's all those jokes about everybody does a podcast and sort of belittling the art, our art, Gonz. But it's really easy to kind of get into that mindset. But then moments like this where we learn about people who have spent a decade or more of their lives sort of on this journey with us, and to hear that we have any sort of impact at all other than just like making jokes or reading headlines or something is super heavy. And and we take it extremely seriously, both like in our stewardship and also just spiritually. You know, there's more to the tithe than just money. You know, it's a whole thing. So thank you very much, Jamie G. You're on the list to get knighted, and that was a very meaningful email for us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jamie G. Appreciate it.
Where'd you find this?
Yeah, and of
Good
course,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know. Not trying to tell people to tithe to us or whatever. That is not. We are not a 501c3. We are not a church. We're just a couple of guys who have somehow continued doing what we are called to do for 11 or 12 years now.
Yep.
And that wraps up the list of financial producers. So thank you very much to all of our financial producers. No, not the full
Executive
producers. The executive producers of this episode. And that's it.
Very good. Okay. Okay. All right. Are we moving on, or are we? Because I think we got a lot to cover still.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover. It's a long show today. I think we're
show.
moving on. I don't know if I have anything else to add to that.
Okay. Then it is time for the Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
There we go, folks. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world, and how there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from MSN. It's mirroring a story by Mashable. And it goes like this. The headline: The nimble robot does at-home manicures so you don't have to lift a finger.
Oh, great.
Yay!
Not even a finger. Yay.
Not even a finger. Previously, your manicure options were going to the salon, other people, human connection, gross, and spending at least $20, way more if you live in NYC, or trying to do it yourself at home. Ugh. You ever tried to paint your own nails at home, Gonz?
Yeah, it was some dark days, man. I was in the goth phase.
I forgot.
I was
Yeah,
like
you
black
needed
eyeshadow and
needed your black nail polish.
yeah, especially when I played guitar and I played those dark
hand.
licks. Yeah, I was like, look at my darkness all over my fingers.
Well, Gonz, if only little baby guitar Gonz could see you now, you could get a robot making you so metal. Now there's a third option that gets you the professional salon look in the comfort of your home without lifting a finger at CES 2024. Okay, so it's obvious now, Gonz, that we need, or one of us or both of us or something needs to go to CES. This is part of our 2024 vision, folks, is to boots on the ground at some of these important type of things. More on that later.
Yeah.
At CES 2024, Nimble Beauty showed off its manicure robot that can paint and dry all 10 fingers in about 25 minutes. After a long 20, that seems like a really long time. Is that a long time or is that a short time, Gonz?
I think the visit to the manicure mani-pedi type of places, it could be an hour depending on how bad your fingers are looking.
Okay.
So I've gone one time with the wife, so maybe I can use some of the birthday money to take wife to get my toes cleaned or something.
That'd be a nice thing. Yeah, I did the foot thing once. It was for somebody else's birthday, and the whole group went to the place, and I put my foot in this bucket, and a bunch of little fishes nibbled on me. It was really weird.
Were they talking about you in Vietnamese? That's normally what happens. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
There was a whole group there, so I was hoping to kind of blend in.
Yeah.
Anyways, founder Omri Moran came up with the idea in 2016. Oh, a long time coming. After
Make that vision come true. Never give up on your dreams.
Listen to this. Now, again, folks, we're in the Flippy update. So put your mind in the mind the philosophical mindset of robots, robot propaganda, the transhuman future, the further disconnection from other humans due to the replacement of that interaction with robots. Okay, we're all in the zone. Close your eyes. Here we are. Founder Omran Moran came up with the idea in 2016 after a first date was very late due to a botched manicure. The woman
brain neurons firing. Go ahead.
He was getting stood up. He was getting stood up because of a botched manicure.
What's the woman? Continue. Sorry. Go on.
Okay. The woman tried to fix it herself, then ultimately bailed and removed the whole manicure before rushing out the door. The woman's story got Moran thinking that a manicure is a very different experience from what he expected. Okay, listen up, fellas. Quote, I imagined it with friend. Very relaxing, said Moran. Quote, turns out for many people, it's more like ongoing maintenance. And when they do it at home, it's a chore. When Moran looked into it, he found a huge market and potential demand. Nimble's Kickstarter campaign initially launched with a $50,000 goal, but ended up raising $2 million.
Whoa.
Nobody can say that this guy didn't have a good idea. He was looking for $50K, got $2 million. For anyone who gets their nails done, this is obvious, but manicures are a big business. And by the way, the date ended up becoming Moran's wife. He says.
Now they get to both. The what I was going to mention was this is an example of, and I was trying to find the exact term, and I don't know if there's an actual name for this, but it's the phenomenon that is loosely known as sex as a driver for innovation, where men innovate only for the purpose of finding a female partner.
Oh, yeah. That's 50% of why robotics is where it is men who can't find a partner and build one.
Yeah. That's funny. This is next level, though. You know, it's not, hey, let's just make the robot your spouse. It's, just use the spouse. Use to please the woman to keep her around or something. Yeah.
So people know what I'm going to say already. So this guy, he had an experience with a woman based around a botched manicure. It brought them together. The botched manicure was the reason they got together and got married. Yeah, if indeed the story is true.
Conspiracy.
So in response, his plan is to build a machine so no one else can ever meet their future partner because of a botched manicure. He is totally sabotaging the meet cute, as the millennials call it, the meet cute of how he met his wife. He says, oh, this is such a great story. I will be the last one to have this cute story, and I will create a robot that will further disconnect not only men from women, but women from women. Okay? Look, I've never been a salon guy, but from what I understand, kind of like certain men in barber shops, it's more than just a haircut. It's more than just a manicure.
Event, yes.
Social event. Your hands are getting, touched, and you're talking with your lady. And
yeah. You went on that rant last episode. I think it was like a 20-minute rant about masseuses. Yeah.
Yes, well, yes, exactly. It's about the human connection more than it is about the actual getting the paint on the nails. Gonz, you can attest to that.
Yes.
And so he's like, nope, nobody will ever meet their partner ever again. I will build this robot to sabotage the meet cutes into the future. Now, folks, it's a box. It's just a white box. It's got a hole. You stick your hand in it.
Box. It's a cube. It is a cube.
Okay, cube. And the moment I saw it, I said, oh, Gonz, it's like the Gom Jabbar. Thinking I was very smart and funny, referencing the Gom Jabbar. An esoteric reference to Dune, which is a box you stick your hand in. Pain is the mind killer, etc. But of course, they just went ahead and talked about the Gom Jabbar anyways. Let's see. It was a little weird feeling the cold, wet polish on my nails without being able to see it, and then the fan blowing air to dry it off. But Dune comparison stopped as soon as the manicure started. Sure it is. Now, this robot does use AI.
Great.
And it has a robotic arm inside the box. There's a tiny baby Flippy. A tiny little baby Flippy inside the box, invisible, quiet, deftly maneuvering around your fingers. And the arm has the same tactility of a human hand.
Oh, why?
The robot. Exactly. So
what in the world?
The guy knows what he's doing. This is the replacement, not just of the workers who do the thing. We're way past replacing jobs, folks. We are replacing the human touch. The Gom Jabbar manicure box you stick your hand in, and you're threatened by some lady in a robe if you're on the Dune planet. But then a robotic arm that feels like a human hand goes and precisely paints each nail. Why would you bother interacting with another human from another culture who, is going to tell you how great certain colors look or ask you about your boyfriend or whatever? No. You've got Gom Jabbar. Live with it. And then it's basically the rest of it was the author testing out the nimble. The nimble says, with my single nail polished and dry, I was impressed with the results. The polish was almost perfectly painted on the nail and didn't get on any of the cuticle or surrounding skin. This, Moran told me, is also contingent on keeping your hand still, much like the Gom Jabbar. It's the whole point. There's some Dune heads out there that are like, yes, great reference, very good reference to the Gom Jabbar. And people who have not interacted with that franchise, they're trusting me. I can feel you trusting me, but not understanding. Anyways, keep your hands still. But Nimble's AI algorithm means the robot arm is able to account for small movements and recalibrate accordingly. For $599, Nimble doesn't come cheap. But if you're someone who regularly gets their nails done, this might pay for itself over time. Over time, let's see, $20 per 500 divided by 20. What is that?
Well, it'll be 600.
40. Okay, 600 divided by...
That's 30.
30, yeah, okay.
No, 600 divided by 20 is 30.
You got to get your nails done 30 times for it to pay for itself, apparently. Moran says they're also planning a new service and features like gel polish and pedicures, like your regular salon. If that sounds like you, Nimble is available for pre-order and ships in March. Moran says widespread availability expected this May. So just replace everyone in your life with a robot. And it's not just about your husband, your wife, your kids. All those have already happened. Your boss is already an AI. Your coworker is already a robot arm. It's all already happened. And the one place where humans might think they can actually have some human contact, no. Now stick your hand in the Gom Jabbar, hold very still, while the robot arm disconnects you even further from any human contact.
First of all, this is a direct attack on the entire Vietnamese community, especially I think on the West Coast. I don't know how it is across the country.
Anti-immigrant.
That's what I'm saying.
It's totally anti-immigrant.
Taking away the nail industry, the nail salon industry was a big entrepreneurial thing for the Vietnamese community when they came out to the United States. So for them to take that away or at least try to anyway with machines. I don't know. Maybe they'll pivot and they'll just have a warehouse with just a bunch of these machines and all the women will just be operating
they're operating nothing.
Code in the background.
Nothing. And it reveals a big deception in the sort of beast system, which is people out there. There's a lot going on with illegal immigration right now. Okay, so your mind might be going to illegal immigration. Koreans, for the most part, it's very difficult to come illegally from Korea. Or wherever, that's a totally different thing. Most of your nail ladies came across. They did it legally. They built a
Yeah.
business. They're doing their part for America. Those are the immigrants we want.
Yeah.
We want immigrants who follow the rules and they do what it takes to become a citizen. We're all very proud of them. And then they are just absolutely fueled by this entrepreneurial spirit because America is the only place that they can do that, or at least is much easier, much more accepted here.
Yeah.
And so that's the American dream, baby. Keep that going. And so the robot replacement of workers, as we know, is all like manual labor. It's the lower wages. Like it's not the white collar career people, whether they are immigrants or not, that are being replaced by robots. It's, I don't know, for instance, a bunch, 10,000 people a day coming over to the country to work, perhaps work in all sorts of different fields. I don't know. Ask Hillary Clinton, who wants them to clean toilets and stuff.
Gosh.
But those are the ones being replaced. And then what do you do with that many people being displaced by robots? It's just out of control. It is, we are on a crazy train.
The flippy update to sum it all up here, you got the Vietnamese community at large being replaced by an occult flippy. It's a flippy in a box.
That's right.
You can't even see, but then it gives you human touch.
They're trying to replace us all, folks, and they're trying to disconnect us. Find a reason to have connection with other human beings. Perhaps that's a podcast. We promise they will never replace us. We may start an AI version of the podcast separately, but that I promise to not replace ourselves without adequately getting paid.
Have you ever heard of the Nephilim, my dear?
What's a Nephilim?
Why, they're found in Genesis chapter 6.
You reached chapter 6?
You reached chapter 6?
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
Yeah, more Nephilim talk. It's 2024. It's time for another Nephilim update. Apparently, this is the thing now these days. We have
the main part of the show. Look at us go.
Yeah, it's moving up the ladder. The Nephilim update used to be an afterthought, towards the bottom of the show, but we're moving it up here. This is coming from Forbes. This is why I bring it. Forbes.com, not I don't know, Joe's blog. That's a horrible example. But the headline here is 2024 is shaping up to be the year of tall aliens. Forget the short aliens. It's about the tall aliens.
Thanks, Forbes.
Yeah. The lag is driving me kind of nuts, Basil. But okay, let's just continue here. It says here, 2024 has barely begun, and already there have been 2 viral news stories featuring tall aliens and creatures supposedly captured via heavily pixelated videos. The fact that 2 similar stories went viral in the first half of January highlights the increased public interest in aliens and paranormal phenomena, likely ignited by Congress taking the time to hear UFO testimony. And I would like to say, yeah, maybe that's the public perception. That's the narrative that's out there. But I would argue that not only has the public been interested in topics like aliens and paranormal phenomena for years, perhaps even centuries. I mean, it's been kind of the thing for a while, but also the whole Congress talking about UFO testimony, I believe, is also part of the design to get people talking about aliens and Nephilim and all that kind of stuff. What happened with the tall aliens? So I'm going to skip this part because we know what happened. The Miami Mall. There was another situation where they're highlighting, where did it go? This I'm just scrolling here. What's happening with this article? Why is it so horrific, Forbes? Aliens hiking on a hilltop. I don't know if you saw any of those, Basil, but it's a common video that's, or not this particular one, but there have been several giants stretching on top of mountain type of videos over the years. And yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if that's a real thing or not, but it's hard to imagine that it's anything but some kind of chicanery. But there's another segment here. Footage of aliens is always blurry. Always blurry. The similarity between the two viral stories is striking, as is the mundanity of the alleged encounters. Aliens like to visit them all, apparently, at least when you're not hiking. Evidence-wise, the bar was shockingly low. Forbes coming out. Shockingly low, with very blurry videos, seemingly enough to spark discourse across social media. And I actually looked it up. This page mentions the word blurry 8 times. And I'm wondering if that is some kind of SEO thing, trying to capture anybody looking up aliens or tall aliens or whatever in a Christian context, maybe obfuscate any search results for blurry creatures over there. That's a pretty big podcast.
Yeah, we got to get in touch with those guys, by the way.
Yeah, we're loosely in contact with them. I think Blurry Creatures responded to one of my ex posts and liked it and stuff. So
got to get those guys on the show.
Yeah, we'll
Twitter
figure it
commandos, go.
Yeah, the not bots. We're in an era of generative AI. Is no digital prankster going to create more compelling, less pixelated clip of extraterrestrial visitors? I like how they're prompting the public to do, less pixelated AI-generated alien videos. Okay. Concerts, parades, and firework displays are filmed on hundreds of smartphones from every conceivable angle. But when alleged extraterrestrials show up, the resulting footage is always a pathetic smear of pixels. They're not wrong, but I think it's interesting that they're mentioning things that we have mentioned for years, not just us, but many people who have been looking at this topic with a critical eye or a critical ear, or critical mind. A lot of the evidence is a little shady, but that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily dismiss the topic. And that's the part that I think Forbes and a lot of people now, they're falling into the trap of, this footage is fake, therefore whole story must be fake. It's like the Nephilim pictures, the Photoshop Nephilim pictures of the giant skulls, and they discovered giant skulls, and it's like some guy with a wagon and there's some skulls photoshopped in there. Well, yeah, that photo is fake, but it doesn't mean the whole topic is untrue. And then it goes into more tall aliens. It mentions the conspiratorial right-wing media figures such as Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson have been stoking the flames of extraterrestrial lore for some time now, while popular podcaster Joe Rogan has been discussing UFO stories for many years. So yeah.
I love that. They're like, oh, Tucker started 6 months ago talking about these things. And
Joe Rogan has been doing it for a while. I mean, he's had guests on talking about
that's
stuff,
what I mean. They give Joe Rogan the full treatment. Like, he's the veteran. He's been doing it for years. Hello, Alex Jones. I don't know. Has Alex Jones been an alien guy for a long time?
I don't know, but I mean, he's been the the human alien or human animal hybrids.
Hybrid, right?
Yeah, he's on that. The aliens made us train, I think, or at least that's what's come out of his mouth. Again, it's kind of hard. Alex Jones, he's flip flopped a little bit on some of the things, but let me see if I can find that one particular Alex Jones clip. Let's see. There's
they've been creating animal-human hybrids for decades.
There's that one.
We're made by the aliens.
That's the one. Yeah, we're made by the aliens. Yeah. They mentioned Groosh and the biologics. They, I like this. However, the trope of the tall, slender alien is fairly prevalent in pop culture. For example, the engineers in Ridley Scott's Prometheus. Oh, there you go. Plus, internet folklore is full of gangly creatures like Slender Man and Siren Head. Okay. It could be that blurry footage is made more compelling if it is accompanied by claims that the subject is unusually large because size is difficult to gauge through pixelated video. A small figure could easily be explained as a child, but a giant entity could be more intriguing to believers. Okay.
Well, they are really stretching here.
It's a stretch. It's really, yes. They're doubling down on all this stuff. And here it is. Online, the spread of both alien videos was accompanied by discussion of the Nephilim. Forbes is mentioning Nephilim. Basil.
Which is interesting. Because
yeah, go ahead.
You have to... Sorry. Hold on. Sorry, the lag's very bad. So I just pointed out, it's very interesting. Forbes has to write an article specifically about tall aliens to be able to mention the Nephilim. You know, I don't think anybody else is looking around and being like, whoa, why are all the aliens tall now? Where did all these tall aliens come from? But Forbes has to frame it as tall aliens in order to sort of have permission to bring up the Nephilim. So this whole thing was framed and written so that Forbes could write about the Nephilim. It was not the other way around.
And this is interesting because the word alien in the sentence it's got quotes around it, and so does the word Nephilim. But the way they describe it, so let me read the whole sentence here. Online, the spread of both alien, quote unquote, videos was accompanied by discussion of the quote unquote Nephilim, a race of giants mentioned in the Bible. They don't necessarily deny that. They don't say that it's a mythology or it's, they just say a race of giants mentioned in the Bible. Yeah.
In the Bible, yeah.
It's almost like they're validating the fact that there are a race of giants mentioned in the Bible, which is a big step for Forbes, let alone, half the Christians out there. The nature of the Nephilim is disputed by scholars, but they are sometimes interpreted as offspring of men and fallen angels, imbuing the sightings with a Lord of the Rings-esque backstory and suggesting that alien lore can exist comfortably within a religious framework. Now, Basil, we have an episode with the late Dr. Michael Heiser, and it's called Middle Earth. It's because we talked about the whole Christian Middle Earth concept that Dr. Michael Heiser was discussing in the context of all this Nephilim stuff and Watchers. So for Forbes to pick up on that as well, it seems like they're doing their research and they may be coming across not just our material, but our community, the material of our community.
Yeah, the community
believers.
has been talking about Nephilim and the whole idea since before it was even okay to mention in church, much less Forbes magazine.
Yeah. And the Lord of the Rings thing is pretty spot on.
So Mike Heiser, definitely, they came in contact with that. It's very interesting how, even that last thing there, suggesting that alien lore can exist comfortably within a religious framework. I mean, that is the fringe of the fringe. I mean, that is the only reason we exist is because we had the fringiest of the fringy things to talk about. And there is a fringy group of fringy people who wanted to talk, who were Christians, which is already fringe, and wanted to talk about aliens, which is super fringe, which at least back then, it is so mind-blowing to me that the most possible obscure topic that we could have ever chosen to podcast about for 10, 11 years now is now a subject of a very long Forbes article.
It's super long.
And
there's more.
Possibly for the first time, the Nephilim are being described at least not inaccurately.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very interesting as well. Yeah, normally they wouldn't even give it a second thought. They wouldn't need to explain themselves if the Nephilim was mentioned. They would say conspiracy theory or something weird in the Bible or something like that.
And they always mix it up,
Yeah. That they are the fallen angels or those are still views out there. But there's more to this article that I think is very on point to everything we've been discussing. In fact, it's possible that Forbes is just listening to our show, as we always say.
Huge fans.
The existence of otherworldly entities appears counterintuitive to a traditional religious worldview, but thanks to social media, a new era of superstition has dawned. Aliens happily coexist with ghosts, fairies, and capital G God in a melting pot of belief that is referred to as, hold on, I'm going to get this right here. Conspirituality.
Ooh.
We have a new word to describe this. Conspirituality. All right, there you go. Conspiracy and spirituality. Conspirituality.
Which is obviously that the word itself is, I would have to guess, is either a creation of social media or the creation of some academic sociologist
Yeah.
who, focuses on this stuff, and they made up the term.
Yeah.
Like that was
sounds like
that's
something
not
I
our
would come up
term.
with.
Yeah, well,
something I
that's
would
kind
say.
of what I mean. Like, I feel like we should at least know who came up with that term. But it kind of reminds me of like all those, MAGA researching sociologists who kind of start making up weird terms to describe, MAGA people or beliefs or whatever.
Right.
Anyways, not important.
The article continues under a new subheading here, social media and the supernatural. Much of the commentary surrounding the alien stories was admittedly ironic, with many commentators making memes and jokes, and there's lots of fun little things there. The stories went viral due to the combined engagement of casual commentators, skeptics, and earnest believers. Outside of the memes and irony, the surge of interest in aliens seems to be driven by a desire to believe something, anything beyond the depressing news cycle and daily doom scrolling.
Of course.
Wow.
Gonz?
Yes.
There is a Wikipedia page for conspirituality.
Oh, wow.
And can I read you the first sentence of the characterization segment?
Sure.
The term was coined for the 2011 study, The Emergence of Conspirituality, by sociologist Charlotte Ward and David Vauss, published in the Journal of Contemporary Religion. Sociologists, man, just making it up.
Is that why I come up with all these terms too? Is that just like a trained sociologist just smushes words together to describe?
They're making up words to try to describe a group of people that they find fascinating.
Yeah, I do that all the time. This is great. I'm glad I'm good, with good company here with all these
sociology shill.
Hey, I don't have my official degree, okay? My BS, because it's, cow dung. All right, let's see. Let me go. Where was I? I was reading that Forbes article. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go back. So they quote Dasha Nekrasova from the Red Scare podcast, or Red Scare podcaster.
So many podcasts get mentioned in this article, and of course, not the right ones.
And her thing was she was an atheist that became a Catholic. And it says here that she explained her newfound faith as a response to modern nihilism, which we've talked about. I think that's a bigger conversation to have with just apologetics in general and the new atheism and how it created a generation of nihilistic people, or just young youth and nihilism don't mix. There's just a horrible thing that has resulted with that, in my opinion.
And it kind of was, I think, most present in Gen X, and then Gen X gave birth to Gen Z, and look how they're doing.
Yeah, but there is not a backlash, but like a response to it, I suppose, where, like, for example, this Nekrasova person went from atheism to Catholicism. I mean, I guess it's right trajectory, I suppose. Despite Nekrasova's embrace of faith, polls show that belief in organized religion is declining, particularly among Gen Z, but belief in the supernatural is rising, as the younger generations appear to share Nekrasova's sentiment. Why not? And then they mention another podcast that I don't want to pitch because it's just more podcasts. It's not our podcast. Yeah. Then they talk about TikTok, which is relevant because we'll do a little TikToking investigation later in the show. But it says here, to round it out, 2024 is still young, so time will tell if the tall aliens trend will continue throughout the year. Maybe next time, believers, not believers, those are Justin Bieber fans. Believers will be gifted a high-resolution video. Hey, is that a setup? Is Joe Biden going to be whispering into the ear of a Nephilim?
It's just a matter of time.
Slave woman?
Before somebody puts out, some psyop comes out, a perfectly clear video of Joe Biden hanging out with an alien.
Or even worse, it'll be like Alex Jones flirting with a Nephilim or something, and then he'll say, I thought it was a costume, that whole thing.
It might be time for long-time Basil heads out there on the Joyspiracy Theory podcast with the episode with Derek Gilbert. I think it was with Derek Gilbert. Might have been
New World
Michael
Order
Heiden.
Fantasy League.
No, the other
idea.
The other masterfully concocted idea, which was the television sitcom Oops, I Married a Nephilim.
Oh, right.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
Yeah. Could we get Alex Jones to act out a skit? Oops, I Married a Nephilim. I don't know why I think he would be the perfect guy to do it.
I need to get a team together. Much like all the other teams I need to get together. I need
all
to
the same team.
I'm just sort of the ideas guy, you know. I can't make the
execution
TV show
is difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be the executive producer. Let me get this train rolling. By the way, trademark, do not steal Oops, I Married a Nephilim. I've got it on record. I will sue you until I can move to Aruba.
Your Honor, listen to this episode of the Joyspiracy Theory.
I've got it.
The theory is on tape.
I've got it time-stamped.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. The Nephilim are trending. Tall aliens are trending, and we're here for it. If you got any questions or conversations that you want to have, you can share the show.
We're here. We're here. I got the write-up. I got the pitch. Let me pitch you the thing. No, I think the TikTok bit is interesting, and the Gen Z sort of spirituality bit is interesting because, of course, we've followed Witch Talk and Gen Z. There is a huge movement in Gen Z towards tradition, first of all. That's the rebellious thing these days, is to want a traditional life, to have a traditional relationship with a traditional everything. Tradition's so hot right now.
Tradition. What was that song? Was that the Fiddler on the Roof or something?
Fiddler on the Roof, yeah. And there's huge swaths, like waves of these Gen Z people getting super into traditional religion, traditional stuff. A lot of it's going Catholic, but a lot of it's going other places. And it's very interesting to watch. And it is all fueled by TikTok, social media, which makes me wonder what the Chinese have to gain from this.
Something.
Well, I don't, it'd just be postulation, but I wonder what the Chinese have to gain from this. But I think this is a movement and a mass movement or a mass trend that a lot of people are not seeing around them. It's not registering. And I don't know how else to say it or to say it loudly enough. There is a huge revolution happening right now. And it's not just, getting into Nephilim or getting into Catholicism or getting into, wanting one wife and one husband married together, which is, again, so rebellious to that generation. But I forgot what I was going to say. It's something. It's going to be
something
great,
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Pay attention. It's happening all around you, folks.
It is. And it's interesting to me. The most interesting thing about that is that it's a cyclical thing. There's not, as much as we think there's something new, or it's not new. There's nothing new under the sun. So it's just circular. The things.
I also don't, but I don't know. I wasn't there for previous generations.
That's true.
I don't know what this version or how long ago it would have been. Like what after. In the Great Depression, was there like a movement towards, away from the flappers and the jazz music towards more traditional? I don't know. Like, I think it's possible that this is, maybe not unique in the grand scope of history, but it's certainly unique for the modern world.
Well, yeah, everything is a little different with the digital age, the flavor of things and how information spreads. And certainly those are much different characteristics. Sure. But yeah, I think the move towards tradition or the emphasis on traditional conservative values
and the
seems
benefit
to
and the peace. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
what it's doing is it's giving people much needed structure,
Right.
even if it's not, an earnest belief in the Catholic faith. It's bringing a structure that is rebellious. It is a rebellious structure towards the modern sort of chaotic postmodernism. It's very interesting to watch, and I think there's a big opportunity for us, but also for Christians of principle, because like I said, like I've been saying for a couple episodes, like it's the principles, people who are principled. To be a principled person is so punk rock right now. It's really bizarre.
But it is
take advantage of it, though.
Those values are what has kept society together forever. If you really think about, if you just strip it all away, take away all the totalitarianism, authoritarianism. Yes, those things have existed, but really, it's the people that value things like family and traditions, and those are the things that kept civilization moving. So yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe they see there might be some wisdom in that generation of just like, oh, the whole world is going to end. We should probably go back to the way things were when we weren't on the precipice of absolute public mass psychosis and postmodern, debilitating sort of chaos.
Yeah, and it's also part of the. I mentioned it when we talked to LA, but the idea that everyone during the days of Noah knew what was going on,
right?
In terms of the alien conversation, so to speak. So, yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise. And this whole article has everything to do with the reenchantment conversation as well. Just to add that angle as well.
Carl Tykrib, Age of Reenchantment.
Yep. Okay, so. Or you got anything else?
I'm
on
ready
this?
to move on. You want to move on?
Yep.
Pandemic special. All right. Speaking of history repeating itself, folks, thank you for sending this article to us. This is making the rounds again, and it's coming from The Guardian this time. Arctic zombie viruses in Siberia could spark terrifying new pandemic, scientists warn. Great.
XY.
Yeah, I really think this let me one step at a time here. Arctic zombie viruses in Siberia could spark terrifying new pandemic. Humanity is facing a bizarre new pandemic threat, scientists have warned. Ancient viruses frozen in the Arctic permafrost could one day be released by Earth's warming climate and unleash a major disease outbreak, they say. Strains of these Methuselah microbes, or zombie viruses, as they are also known, have already been isolated by researchers who have raised fears the new global medical emergency could be triggered not by an illness new to science, but by a disease from a distant past. As a result, scientists have begun planning an Arctic monitoring network that would pinpoint early cases of a disease caused by an ancient microorganisms. Additionally, it would provide quarantine and expert medical treatment for infected people in a bid to contain an outbreak and prevent infected people from leaving the region. Here's a quote, just to get a quote in there. Quote, "At the moment, analyses of pandemic threats focus on diseases that might emerge in southern regions and then spread north," said geneticist Jean-Michel Claverie of Marseille University. Quote, "By contrast, little attention has been given to an outbreak that might emerge in the far north and then travel south. And that is an oversight, I believe. There are viruses up there that have the potential to infect humans and start a new disease outbreak. Disease X." Now, if this is sounding familiar to you folks, especially you longtime listeners, you will not be surprised to hear that we have covered this story upwards of 4 or 5 times over the past couple of years. Most recently, I think maybe our earliest on this show was episode 144. CCNT, Zuck, Buck, and Libra. That was June 19th, 2019. So the melting ice because of climate change, setting free a zombie virus. This is something that just keeps coming up over and over again. It is a very useful narrative. It's kind of like the mainstream's Antarctica update. You know, we just sort of get obsessed about it and just kind of like do it as often as we can. This is kind of like that. They're like, okay, well, it's a little bit of a slow news day. You know, disease X is trending on Twitter. You know, the pandemic stuff is going to get wrapped up again. There's Davos. Okay, why don't you throw in the zombie virus thing again? And not only the mainstream, and this is why we are paying very close attention, folks. And again, God bless you longtime listeners, because you guys are so far ahead of even the quote-unquote, you know, alt media industrial complex. Huge, whatever, alt influencers or personalities or whatever. They're doing it again. They're coming out like this is the first time this has ever happened. This tweet I put in the doc there, Gonz, it does have a bad word in it. Kids, earmuffs. I'm not going to read it, but earmuff your eyes. This is from Clandestine.
Earmuff your eyes.
Yeah. This is from Clandestine. At War Clandestine. He became extremely popular on Twitter during the pandemic. You know, and then he posts this screenshot from Daily Mail about the Arctic zombie virus. It says scientists from the WWF are warning that global warming could cause ancient viruses dormant in permafrost, etc., etc. They're going to release another pathogen and blame global warming. Yeah, yes.
The screenshot is of the Daily Mail, by the way.
Yeah, this is Daily Mail.
No
version.
link. They never link this stuff with these guys.
Yeah, why would
they
you?
never link?
No, because you don't want to lead people away from your Twitter account. That's not. And this guy has 500,000 followers about. And so, you know, it surprises me that, I mean, it would be different if this person, which I've nothing against this person. I don't know who this is. But, you know, this was out for so long. It comes out every year. I would like to know if they reported on it every year, because if not, there is an aspect of falling into the psyop of reporting this yet again. The fact that they are putting this out, they've been putting out this zombie virus story since about 2014. 2014 is when they found the virus or a virus in the permafrost. So they've been recycling this story for 10 years now. And especially now, of course, this is some sort of psyop. You know, perhaps it's to get the attention off of, you know, disease X, the Chinese, you know, new brain-eating COVID. Perhaps it's get attention away from WEF. Perhaps it's to, you know, bolster the climate change as a pandemic, you know, emergency response thing. Whatever it is, this is obviously very clearly a meticulous strategy to guide public attention in one way or another. Why else would you repeat a story from 10 years ago?
Yeah. Maybe they don't want people going to the Arctic.
Yeah, they want them to go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
That's where
a lot more
people belong.
Yeah, and a lot more Nephilim penguin stuff going on down there.
Yeah, and in this article, they really hammer home, like, this is going to kill us all. This is, you know, It used to be that they're like, don't worry, they got it under control. But now the meteorologists say the region is heating up several times faster than the average rate, and we're all going to die. But will this be the next pandemic? I don't know, but it could very easily be a great excuse for it.
I was going to say, it can be the narrative. It doesn't have to be an actual virus that came from the Arctic, but it certainly, if that is the narrative that supports some kind of disease that gets out there again, well, there's some implications for funding. There's probably implications for especially like scientific endeavors in that region to try to figure out what's going on. Who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of incentives. And it does seem like maybe that's it too. The
And the
financial
urgency.
setup. Yeah, the urgency
is just off the charts.
Yeah.
It ends with Clavery and others are working with Arctic, the University of the Arctic, which I never knew existed, an international educational network in the polar region, on plans to establish quarantine facilities and provide medical expertise that could pinpoint early cases and treat them locally to try to contain the infection. So they're planning. They are planning for a pandemic to start up there. They are getting their quarantine facilities put together for this.
I got it. I have an idea.
There's a quote. We now face a tangible threat that we need to be prepared to deal with. It is as simple as that. Period.
Why do they always have they always have that like the exclamation point, you know? They always try to make it
very
drive it
afraid.
in. Now I was thinking on a globe Earth map. Let's pretend the world is, most people believe the Earth is a big ball. So if the virus starts spreading in the Arctic, things are melting, everyone's going to flee south. Everyone's fleeing to Antarctica.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's maybe the play.
It doesn't help that they found COVID in Antarctic soil samples either. So where are you going to go, folks? Where are you going to go?
Well, the difference is they got the DNA thing down there, the DNA arc down there.
That's right.
They got TikTokers down there. It's more fun. Just more fun.
Yeah, it's very it's
party town.
There's a lot of social justice down in Antarctica. Would you rather die of a pandemic? Yeah, would you rather die of a pandemic around Bernie Sanders Nephilim penguins, or you want to die of a pandemic up at the University of the Arctic? Your choice.
Your choice. Great. That's like it's like politics. It's a false dichotomy there. Okay, let's spend some time. Thanks some producers for their time, talent, and treasure.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Sorry, and then what?
Something just... Oh, gosh.
Oh, what is going on in here?
That?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody is entering.
Maybe there's a cat romping around in here or something. Yeah, I forgot that strange supernatural occurrence in my office. I have no idea what I was going to say.
Wow.
But yes, we're on Value for Value, and Value for Value comes in many forms. How would you like to do this, Gonz? We got finish up the financial producers, or
let's do that.
Do we have voicemails?
Actually, yes, we do have one, I believe.
Let's do voicemails.
Okay, let's do some speak pipe. Where's my mouse? That'd be nice.
I don't know.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Beep. Go to canarycrynewstalk.com. On any of the pages on the website, you can look for a green tab on the right side or the bottom. You click on it. It opens up a little pop-up window that allows you to record a voice message of up to 90 seconds, or any audio. Actually, you can play music. Can't really fushigi dance on an audio message, but you can try.
Somebody could figure it out.
You can leave a pre-show prayer there as well. So appreciate those. And if you have a private message for us, let us know right at the top so we don't accidentally play it. But I believe we have a message here from Miss G Beauty.
Hello, Basil and Gonz and the Canarium. So I might be working on a new bingo for 2024. And I always struggle with coming up with my own ideas, so I would love the community's input if possible. People can send me their ideas or their predictions for 2024 of what is going to happen. You can send them to me either through godsgirl63@hotmail.com, or you can message me at MissGraceBeauty0330 on Discord. Either of them, I'll get your messages. I can't guarantee that I'll see your predictions through the chat, but if I happen to look through the chats, I might use that as well. But I always struggle to come up with my own ideas and thought I'd reach out and see if anyone had some good predictions for this year. Looking forward to hearing some responses and predictions, and I can't wait to send in the bingo, hopefully in the next little while, if all goes well. All right. Have a great day, guys. Have a good show. Many blessings. Miss Grace Beauty.
Thank you,
Yay.
Miss Grace Beauty.
Thank you very much.
First off, I respect that she still has a Hotmail account. That is,
yeah, that's pretty.
That was my
impressive.
first email account. Was a Hotmail account. So
Same here.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, folk, this is great. Thank you very much. The Canary Cry Bingo. It did occur to me at the end of last year that I wasn't so sure if we would get another Canary Cry Bingo. This has been a recurring project of Dame Miss G Beauty, and I just didn't know if it was going to keep happening or not. But you can go to canarycrybingo.com. canarycrybingo.com. Because the decline of civilization should be fun. Got some quotes there. I'm just looking at this page. CCNT Bingo helps me keep track of all the madness throughout the year. Thanks, CCNT. I love playing Canary Cry Bingo with my kids. They learn the truth about how the government primary concern is to maintain and increase its power over individuals and how a well-orchestrated agenda being perpetrated by a small group of elites bound to one another by overlapping incentive structures serves the powerful status quo while trapping the lower classes in a perpetual treadmill of poverty enforced by a spiritually oppressive propaganda-fueled panopticon security state hell regime. And fun and educational. Thanks, CCNT. See, folks, there's good stuff going on around here. Play along at home. We've got Miss G Beauty. Let's see. It looks like it started in 2021, 2022, 2023. Yeah, let's do it 2024. Let's do it. Do you remember what her email was?
You mean in the message?
In the message.
Let me try to get to it.
You can send them to me either through godsgirl63@hotmail.com.
godsgirl63@hotmail.com.
Hotmail.com. Okay, there you go. Yeah, go to canarycrybingo.com. Take a look at the previous cards. You could still print those out and play this year too. You'll get an idea for the types of things. The fun part is that people who listen to this show are so good at predicting what's going to happen the following year that it's pretty easy to beat the game. So go take a look and send your suggestions to the Hotmail account that I just forgot.
Yeah, luckily or thankfully, people listening can just hit the 10 seconds back or 30 seconds back or something and hear that email address.
Or email us and we can send it on over to her, canarycryradio@gmail.com.
Yep. Thank you very much, Miss G Beauty. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
That's it for the speak pipe today.
Okay. Sounds good. We got a handful of financial producers who came in under the executive producer amount. We call them producers. And we'll thank them right now.
Let's do it.
Thank you to producer Morgan E.
Morgan E. Thank you very much, Morgan E.
Morgan E's amount was hard to determine. I think it was $40.33.
Okay.
Illuminatus! Could have been $42.09. It's hard coming through the link tree. The fees are different. I'm not exactly sure. Thank you very much, producer Morgan E.
Thank you, Morgan E. Appreciate it.
Next up, we've got Sir Ike.
Hey, Sir Ike. Thank you very much.
Do you remember Sir Ike's full night name?
Not off the top of my head.
It's a long one. It's one of the really long ones.
Oh, it's one of the long ones. Yeah, let me pull it up here.
Sir Ike, he comes in for what I think is $41.77.
Aha. It's Sir Ike, the tinfoil hat man, 6-string strummer of the East Ozark Highlands and keeper of the honking cobra chicken.
There it is.
And no wonder I can't remember it.
I know.
Sir Ike for you, for everybody else. Yes.
Comes
Thank
in
you,
with
Sir Ike.
$41.77, and he has a note here. Please apply to Mrs. Tinfoil Hat Man's Dame Hood. Happy 41st birthday, Gonz. Happy 77th birthday, CIA.
Oh, do I share a birthday with? I do. Oh, it's on the calendar.
It's on the Canary Cry calendar.
That explains things, doesn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sir Ike. Next up, we've got producer Stefan S. Comes in
Stefan S.
$33.33.
Thank you, Stefan S.
Stephen S. sent a little note here. A couple years back, you asked for testimonies, what value we get out of the CCNT podcast. I have a new one to share. Okay, here we go. This is value for value. This morning, my son texted me about a video he came across concerning Disney's output of woke, non-family friendly movie content, despite of its non-profitability. It is part of a billionaire investor credit score scheme. With merely 2 texts and a link, I was able to explain it was the WEF's stakeholder capitalism and their ESG goals. Profitability is not the factor. Disney is propped up by investors towing the line. I couldn't have done it without CCNT. By the way, I'm 66.6% complete of my knighthood.
Evil.
There we go. This is what we're talking about, people. These little moments. This is why we make the show notes available. It's why we have the timestamps. It's why we do all the things we do for these little moments when somebody in your life is like, hey, what's this? And then boom, you got the article, you got the link, you got some commentary, and you got it all up in your head, baby. That's the value for value model. Thank you very much, Stephen S.
Thank you, Stephen S. And I just want to mention, because he brought up the ESG stuff, and we did a whole breakdown of ESG maybe 2 years ago. We were really on that.
Even further.
Maybe even further.
I remember explaining to a boomer in my life, ESG, definitely 2019. I'm going to say 2019 just because I'm live and I can't do the math now. But it was definitely 2019.
Okay.
And
so,
they just stared at me like I was crazy. And these are boomers who are done very well for themselves. They're invested. They watch the news. They watch Jim Cramer. They do everything right. And I was explaining 2 things at the same time. I was explaining CBDCs, which nobody had heard about then, and I was explaining ESG. And they just looked at me and smiled and nodded and did not believe me. And I'm sure they don't remember me telling them that at this point. So
yeah, but maybe as the topic became more popular, they were one of those folks where like, oh, I know about this for some reason. It's in my brain. You know, it's one of those things.
like to think they would remember me explaining it, but I don't think that's true.
Well, I just wanted to highlight that because the bigger hedge funds, Vanguard, BlackRock, they were the ones that were creating ESG products through ETFs, which is electronic transfer funds.
Yes.
And now BlackRock has basically ditched all the ESG stuff and went with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Whereas Vanguard is dropping all the Bitcoin stuff and going in harder on the ESG stuff. So very interesting things happening with the bigger picture there.
Good thing those 2 corporations own each other.
They own each other. They own everything and each other. So
really, it's the mega corporation is just diversifying its portfolio.
Dynacorp, yeah.
Thank you very much, Stephen S.
Thank you, Stephen S. Appreciate it.
Next up, we got Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda, coming in 3333.
Sir Darren.
Illuminatus!
Thank you, sir.
A little note from Sir Darren says, calling on the producers.
Producers, assemble!
Right, listen up, producers. That's for people around the world who are dedicated to praying for the show, for the producers of the show, and just doing it all the time. Because that's what we need around here. Producers, listen up. I am going to be, this is Sir Darren says, I'm going to be starting a new job soon, praying for a smooth transition and exciting opportunities. Yes.
Yes.
And also praying that your new job doesn't take up all your time and attention, because we'll miss you very much, Sir Darren, and your additions to the culture here.
Yeah. Especially on social media.
I know.
The leading folk.
I know.
Leading the charge.
Sad. I mean, I'll be happy that he has a job and he likes it. He's enjoying himself. But anywho, thank you, Sir Darren.
Yep. Thank you, Sir Darren. Appreciate it.
Next up, we've got producer Tristan S.
Tristan S. Thank you.
Comes in for 1111.
11.
And he has a note here. He actually sent this note back on January 8th, and I just missed it, apparently. It came in on the Proton Mail, folks. If you go to the Proton Mail, that's generally Gonz's turf, so I tend to miss it, but I am now putting it on my list to look at because
too many
there
platforms, too many email
were
platforms.
months worth of notes from people that never made it to the stuff. But here's one from Tristan. It says, hello, I must admit I'm having a hard day with multiple problems, but today I am announcing my knighthood. Being a most important person in the world for 11 months, that's the T-shirt council, 25 supply drops, holy smokes, other miscellaneous producership, and even the premium content on Patreon a long time ago. Puts me over 1K to become a knight, smiley face. I have desired knighthood ever since it became a thing. I will ponder a name in the meantime. I sent in a 777 producership today to commemorate this occasion. That was on January 8th. I have been a listener from the very beginning. Over a decade, I have been listening to you and sharing your content as a producer and knight. I would love business cards to hand out. Maybe the next supply drop. We could probably put together some knighthoods business cards or something.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if we'll look into that. We'll see if we can do something.
Maybe like one cool one so that you can show it to them and then tell them to take a picture of it on their phone because you got to get it back.
You know, business cards are not very expensive, but putting everybody's individual name on it, you know, now we're getting into some logistics, but we can think about it. We'll throw it in the pile. Yeah. Thank you very much, Tristan S. And yes, Tristan S. has been one of those long-time supporter. I mean, not long-time. Well, he's been a long-time supporter, but he's just been there since like the beginning. Tristan S. has been around, and you know what I love seeing is people who, you know, just support here and there, monthly basis, this and that. Just spend years engaging with the show, telling people about the show, just being there, living life. Again, very humbled by the idea of people living their lives with us, sort of bouncing around in their thoughts and their budgets. That's incredible. Thank you very much, Tristan.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
I would have to check last names, which I didn't quite do, but this might be the Tristan that I had on the Joyspiracy theory as well. This is like a crazy reunion episode here. This is interesting. Feel free to let me know if you are the Tristan. Believe it or not, there are multiple Tristans who listen to this show. That sounds like a joke, but I've been confused by it before. Okay, thank you very much, Tristan S.
Yep, appreciate it.
That's it for the producers who came in under the executive producer amount. Thank you guys very much for putting value back into the show. Thank you for your notes. Thank you for taking us down memory lane and exclaiming the value you get from the show. We hope that it inspires other producers. Now, we've got a list of handful of producers who came in underneath the $7.70 mark. That's when you're entitled to a note read on the show. But we've got some people who came in under that, and they are our streakers, starting with Doctor Who Dundat, 48 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Doctor Who Dundat.
This is Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman, 9 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Mrs. Tinfoil Hat.
Where'd you find this? Hey, you lit now.
She's Sadie and lit. She's Sadie and lit.
Sadie and lit. Thank you. We have Sir Morv, Night of the Burning Chariots, 323.
Thank you, Sir Morv.
Veronica D, 352 in a row.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Dame Gale, 346 in a row.
Thank you, Dame Gale.
Sir Scott Knight of Truth, 378 in a row.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 392 in a row.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
Thank you very much to all of our financial producers. These are people who got value out of what's going on here over time, all at once. Who knows? But we appreciate them putting value back in. It's the only way we survive. And not every single listener has to produce every single show, but as many people as we can participating honestly and generously in the value for value model. we can stay alive. We can survive what's going on. I mean, economically for podcasts right now, it is a bloodbath. It is a bloodbath, but it is the value for value model that has kept us going for so long, and we hope to continue doing that.
Yep. Okay. Let's
Jamie
do.
G.
Mhm.
Jamie G. in his email had some strong words about the amount of people who produce the show.
Did you leave it out?
I don't think I left it out for a reason, but the numbers are roughly, there's less than 1% of listeners are producing the show, and that's not just financially. That's with their time and their talent as well. Very, very small number.
Yeah.
Let's see, share his testimony, expertly honed. Well, he does say this: I want to see y'all have the freedom to focus on your expertly honed craft and furthering the reach of the show and not having all the stressful legwork of falling on your guys' shoulders. Love it. Thank you, Jamie G.
Thank you.
We'll
Appreciate
stay in
it.
touch, Jamie G. We should probably do a call or something. I was thinking about getting TJT started again by bringing back doing some like follow-ups with the people who had come on before, because people had experienced quite a connection with other listeners through that show. All right.
Okay.
I'm done.
We're going to thank some producers coming in with their talent. These are folks who got value out of the show, so they put value back in, but not through treasure, but through their time, but also mainly their their talent here. Basil, I'm going to try to do something here. I'm combining the audio jingle and the art jingle into one thing. Tell me if it's good. Maybe it's bad. Let's try it. Here we go.
One art.
Audio production.
One art, please.
I see what you got going there.
That was a little better on my. I did a test run and I think I hit the buttons better.
Did you do that live or do you edit?
Yeah. I'm trying to DJ it. That was not
for
very good.
live, that was pretty well done.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I was trying to do. Let me try one more time here.
Audio production.
One art, please. One art, please.
It's not like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I could see that working. You know what we do need is we need more animations for some more jingles.
Yeah,
who was that? Was it? I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll thank the person. I'm not trying to pressure them into doing stuff for us, but to thank them for doing the excellent art for some other jingles, like the Flippy update.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nephilim update.
That's
and some things like that. It was Faye, producer Faye. Thank you, producer Faye, for that.
Okay, we're going to start with some audio production. Actually, this producer brought 2 pieces of audio, 1 piece of video. It's Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
First one. Hello, this is a clip of a UN member, Melissa Fleming, admitting at the WEF, or Davos, I think, that they own the science to climate change and use Google's SEO to control the narrative. I think this is the one. Hold on one second. Let me just double check. Oh, here we go.
We partnered with Google, for example. If you Google climate change, you will, at the top of your search, you will get all kinds of UN resources. We started this partnership when we were shocked to see that when we Googled climate change, we were getting incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world, should know it. And climate change, we own the science.
We own the science.
Own the science. Nobody owns the science, lady. Can't own.
Oh, she.
Okay.
She owns the science.
I think you cut out for a second and then you came back in.
Hello.
So you sounded weird.
Oh yeah,
so.
I was just in a very silent world for a second.
Interesting. All right, Jonathan F had a second one here. This 33-second file is a clip of Master of Disguise Klaus Schwab talking about not having elections in the future.
The technology now is that digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company is very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Yep.
Man.
Yep, that one was a classic. Hey, we can already predict the elections. Why don't we just prescript the elections? We don't need elections. Our computers can tell us who should be president.
Yeah, not a very good sign. One more from Jonathan F. here. Something expected from Fauci. This is more of a visual one, but
the technology.
Oops, we'll play the whole thing here. It's about 7 seconds.
It is a video of Anthony Fauci picking his nose and eating a booger.
Gross.
Which I never... Hey, you know what? We've all eaten a booger once or twice. But
sure,
not all of us have claimed to be science and locked everybody in their homes for 2 years.
That's what science looks like?
You got to hold those people to a higher standard. And picking your nose on television and chomping down, that's not a good look.
Yeah. Camera's on you, man. You gotta know. All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. Appreciate that. Always good to see you come in with all this content. Jonathan F. can have his own. Yeah, he can have his own page almost with all the jingles and everything he's submitted.
It's almost hard to keep up with all his jingles.
It is, yeah.
Like we have to very purposefully do some file management to make sure we got something for every event. Thank you very much, Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan F. All right, now we have some visual art, starting with Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
Wow. And this, where did it go? Where is Dove? Hold on. No, that is the old. Wow, I am falling apart over here. Here we go. This is this is a piece of it's a Bible art coming from Dove. And the note here, piece for this week's Bible artwork, I did an illustration for Psalm 127:2. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he give to his beloved sleep. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for you. P.S. I attached an update.
Reminder.
Missouri Flyer. Yes, the Missouri Flyer, which we talked about last time. But yes, go ahead. Describe the art, the lovely art.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The lag and everything else is troubling today. I'm having a hard time.
Starting to get frazzled. Starting to get a little frazzled. Thank you very much. Beautiful. What a beautiful scripture to bring up here, Sir Dove. And along with it, such a cute, cozy little piece of art. In the background, we've got a brick wall with some graffiti on it with some snow on the ground. But sleeping on the ground is a cute little raccoon, a cute little cartoon raccoon, Dove style. And in font across it says, he gives sleep to his beloved. Little smiley face heart in beloved. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Yep. Appreciate it, Sir Dove. And yeah, thank you for your ongoing art as well. I mean, okay, never mind. This is some backroom talk.
Streaker. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. This is some backroom stuff that I'll talk to you about afterwards, Basil.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We have some snail mail that I wanted to highlight here. Where's our snail mail jingle? I thought that was just a guy saying snail mail. Wasn't it?
It is.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
Can't find it. All right. Well,
mail. There you go.
That's actually exactly how it sounds. So anybody who is not familiar with the show, we have something here from Eyes to See for Me. And came with a note. It reads, I appreciate you, your efforts, perseverance, and pursuit of Christ-like lives. Thank you for your ministry and friendship. Enjoy this Pfizer-sponsored token of my gratitude. God bless. For him, Coach, a.k.a. Eyes to See for Me. And yeah, he sent, it was a little construction work here. It looks like he got an old box for some non-dairy almond vanilla unsweetened milk. Not the carton, but I think it's like the box that it comes in. Maybe he bought some
Hold it
multiple
up to the
cartridges or
camera.
something. It's just here. Let me actually show the. Oh, I wasn't even showing it on screen. I'm a mess. Okay, here's the box.
Yeah.
Came with the note,
No, you weren't.
and then it
Here,
came
just
with
go
the.
to- just go to you.
Came with the art. What?
Oh, that's me.
No, that's you. No, stop. Just
Sorry,
do the thing.
I was trying to put you up front. Whee!
And then you put yourself
See, I
up
can
front.
control things too, folks.
Yeah. There it is for people watching.
There
It
it
is
is.
a
It's
little
beautiful.
cutout. It's very meticulously done. I don't know how he did this, but it's a fence, like an old rickety fence made out of paper. And on the top left is a canary with some googly eyes. They're like live googly eyes with the VR headset. And on the right is, I think it's me with the hat there. And it actually, the way it came in the mail, so he had this cardboard, he taped his handwritten note onto it, and then he slid this Basil and Gonz duo thing into the paper. I don't even know how to explain it. It was a whole construction thing going on.
Very
So
talented practical effects here.
yeah, very good. And for those of you listening, it's the duo art for this episode. So that's something that it worked out great. So thank you very much to Eyes to See for Me. And he's also the one that gives us some feedback on episodes, or, like post episode feedback. So we appreciate that from him. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Oh, we got Sir Darren after this here. We got Sir. Oh, one other snail mail, by the way, I did receive from producer Charlie. It's they send calendars every year. It's like I think they make like a family calendar type of thing. And it has Romans 8:38, and I'll send it to you, Basil. I got some packages that I need to send you.
Wonderful.
So thank you for that, Charlie M. Appreciate it. Now we will go to Sir Darren.
Night of the Hungry Panther.
Yeah, Sir Darren comes in with a couple pieces here. First one, heard Amazon has a new show about bunkers, blue jumpsuits, and googly eyes. So I went and found the poster. Hope you all like it.
Yeah, very big news for the bunker babes out there. Fallout. There's going to be a new Fallout show, which should be interesting. I can't wait to see that.
Like the
but
game?
Of course, yes. But it's a TV show, I believe. But of course, everybody knows that Fallout is based on my future time travel video game. And here we have a wonderful poster adapted from those trademark offending Amazonians over there at Amazon. And it's very cool. It says Basil's bunker in the style of man, my brain is broken. What is it called? Fallout. Yeah, Basil's Bunker in the style of Fallout. Canary Cry News Talk coming soon. And for those who are just listening, we are staring out of a post-apocalyptic bunker doorway. On the inside of the wall, we've got all sorts of posters for Canary Cry News Talk, the Canary Cry News Talk 700. We've got the Sleepy Chicken poster, the Rocket Man Patriots poster, the just a collection of the Canaryverse folding in on itself and standing at the doorway. We've got a very cool Apocalypse Cowboy Man. I'm wondering if I'm trying to figure out how much work he actually did on this. He may have did he do this from scratch? It's a very cool apocalypse cowboy man, sort of leaning against the doorstep. Of course, he's got a cool virtual reality headset on with some googly eyes. He's got his man bun looking high and tight, cowboy hat at his feet. Of course, there's spurs on those boots. There's a cute little kitty. And of course, we got the classic Fallout German Shepherd dog. And lots of, there's googly eyes on the Fallout robot. I forgot what his name is, but famous and recognizable. Just can't remember his name. Oh, there's a little Easter egg. I see a little Easter egg of a little secret that nobody knows about yet.
Is it like the little book on the chair there?
That's a little hanty poo for, I don't know, somebody who might be supporting the show on a monthly basis. And of course, up at the top says Basil's bunker on sort of a rusted, retro-looking type sign. I must investigate how much of this he did from scratch.
Yeah, because there's through the doorway in the back, it's kind of a shambled store type of thing. The sign reads CCNT. There's an old rickety sign that reads CCNT as well.
And the things that he added, you can, of course, the things that are references to the show he added, but it's so well integrated. Like the style is perfect. And it does not look like somebody added stuff. I am wondering if he did this from scratch. I'm trying to do a little searchy poo to see what the official poster is for the series. And I am not seeing anything that resembles this. He may have done almost all of this completely himself. That is very impressive, Sir Darren. I could be wrong, and I'm sure he will let us know. Is he here still? He might not be here. He was here earlier. That is very, very cool. Thank you very much, Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda. That's at Panda Upgrade on Twitter, folks. Go follow him.
Yep, there you go. Okay, time for some microfiction. Oh, what happened to our... You did things.
I didn't do anything.
Now look what's happening. Now the whole window that we're using for the thing is missing.
Folks, he's starting to lash out. He's starting to lose his grip. We're going a little bit long this episode.
Yeah,
we're starting to get a little jumpy.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's do some microfiction.
Okay.
Microfiction.
Microfiction.
We got one from Runk Smash.
The scientists of the Canarium labor and toil until finally they finish the device. Mike, the psychonaut, smiles as he calls over the intercom for Marty the historian, Stefan and Jones the weavers, and Jam the guide. Finally, their hope dawns anew. Sounds like the Canarium is gathering in their own bunker, preparing.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. It's like all the producers here hanging out.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much,
Runk Smash. That's very fun.
Appreciate it, Runk Smash. All right, so one of them.
By the way,
yeah,
we have reached the end of the batch of microfiction that Runk Smash has sent in. Folks, we don't even know what happens next. He's keeping the Runk Smash cinematic universe very tight to the chest here. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Here's one by Stefan S.
Lone Scum's mouth was agape during the new Robot Butler demo. All we had to do was strap an Alexa to a Roomba and attach cameras and googly eyes. Now we can follow folks around their home and upload images 24/7. Why didn't we think of this sooner? In regards to the article we covered with the LG AI robot, the little Basil bot, you remember. Thank you very much, Stefan S.
Yep. Thank you, Stefan S. Appreciate it. And I think we got one more from Jones.
Yes, we do.
Jones.
The sea of stars surrounding the lightning sphere appear to shy away, giving the impression of a beast. Widening its mouth of intense darkness to rip up Subi, the stars stretch away from the orb in a radical array, squishing into a piercing white rim around the sphere, and in their place, more stars appear, following the same pattern, faster and faster.
Is that the Fibonacci?
What a fun description of going through a wormhole.
Yeah, the Fibonacci radial array of light that disperses in fractal patterns.
I think Jones is from the future.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, you can't write stuff like that unless you
nobody can
have some knowledge about that stuff. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much to all the producers coming in with their talent. We appreciate all of you.
That's right. And here's the thing, folks. You don't got to be a pro. You don't got to be a pro. You don't even have to go semi-pro. If you want to create your piece of Canary Cry culture, create something for us. It could be a jingle, it could be a song, could be a piece of art. It could be fushigi juggling videos. Whatever it is. Go to canarycry.art. That's a URL, folks. Go to canarycry.art. You can upload your art there. Get it on the show. And if you have any articles you'd like us to consider for the show, you can go to canarycry.report to send that to us there as well. Get involved. Get your fingerprints all over this show, folks. It's all hands on deck 2024. We need you. And I will say we had a couple people sign up for the time producership stuff. If 2024 is the year that you want to get involved in something bigger, you want to devote yourself to serving the community of believers and weirdos around the world, you can get involved with your time. Volunteer for some stuff. We got people signing up to help out with back-end processes. We got people signing up to help with front-end processes. We got people signing up to help with all sorts of stuff. I'm losing my voice. All you got to do is go to canarycry.support. Wow. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. You'll see a form. Fill out that form. That puts you on a list. We'll reach out. Thank you very much. Back to the show. Legit
All right,
losing
here we
my
go.
voice.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done a long show like this.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's land it.
It's cold, Basil. It's cold.
Antarctica, go first. Snowstorm. Antarctica. Ice. Scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
Yes, Antarctica, our favorite weird topic that's probably going to be mainstream or super mainstream soon because the TikTokers are on it.
It's true.
This is coming from publishersweekly.com here in the headline. Why did Atria Books send a TikTok influencer on a cruise to Antarctica? Well, good question, Publishers Weekly. Yeah. It says here, soon after Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas set sail on December 10th for a 9-month ultimate world cruise that visits 65 countries and all 7 continents, a large swath of TikTok users became obsessed with its voyage. And what drama might unfold on board? One of those TikTok users was Mark Sebastian, a model and influencer with 1.6 million followers. From the start of the cruise was a content mill with a bevy of influencers and other TikTok personalities filming and posting their every waking moment aboard the ship. Oh gosh, that would be insufferable to be on. Can you imagine being on a ship and then everyone's just making their TikToks? Ugh.
Dude, I would love to be on this cruise.
To make your own TikTok, or you?
It's very unpopular to like cruises. It's really? Very unpopular to think that going on cruises is cool, which I think is what is spurring on all the sponsorships to get these TikTokers on the cruise. For 9 months, though, you could get on the cruise and get off the cruise a father is how long this cruise is. And people are obsessed with it. And it is interesting. I mean, it's kind of an interesting experiment in a modern version of reality TV, because you do just have a bunch of influencers going on a long cruise and then, like, you know, TikToking their experience. It's like if Big Brother, you know, it's like if any reality TV wasn't entirely scripted. Now, are these TikToks scripted? Whatever. I have no idea what is.
I will give you some of the flavor here from this gentleman.
I think what they need, to spice up the show or whatever this is, they need a conspiracy theory podcasting from the ship, you know, solving all the mysteries, uncovering the dark agendas of the captain of the ship, this kind of stuff. That's what it's missing, and I volunteer as tribute.
Okay, so I looked up this guy Mark Sebastian on TikTok here, and so he's got his page, and I wanted to play a clip of one of the videos that he has here, and the article was describing this video, so let's just check it out here. It's about 40 seconds.
Alternatively, put me on the cruise. I'll go. If you pay for 1 second, I'm going on the Ultimate World Cruise. 18 nights aboard the Serenade of the Seas. I'm going to Antarctica. I only own fashion jackets. What am I going to wear? And a very unexpected and cool brand reached out to me and was like, "You want to go on that cruise?" And I was like, "Really?" They were like, "You want to go on or not?" And I was like, "Well, yes. I leave in 6 days." The Drake Passage, babe. North Sea, right under it, Drake Passage. Anyone know what to do for seasickness? Those little bracelets work?
There he is. He's the man.
Oh my gosh.
The people.
I need like a
very informed.
I need like what is it? Conservative dad's beer or something, or
to like wash it down.
No, to sponsor me to go on the Antarctica part of this cruise.
I thought you needed some alcohol to deal with this man's TikTok account.
Tim Pool's Coffee Company or something. Maybe the Black Rifle guys. I don't know. I'm just saying the energy needs to be balanced out a little bit.
Well, you're right, but
I think the boat is in danger of capsizing because the energy is a little imbalanced.
So the article mentions here how there was a mystery brand, right, that's going to support the trip or whatever. And so the article states here that this unnamed sponsor had paid for him to stay 18 nights and his destination would be Antarctica. Sebastian boarded the Serenade on January 5th. That same day, he revealed the identity of his corporate benefactor, Atria Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the quote here. "Do you like to read?" he says in a video. "I don't, but maybe I could. On this cruise, I'm going to read a book." End quote.
Cool. Good.
A hashtag appears overhead. Hashtag Mark reads a book. The video then cuts to Sebastian sitting next to a stack of books, including Frederick Backman's Anxious People, Alison Cochran's The Charm Offensive, Zakia Dalila Harris's The Other Black Girl, and Lisa Jewell's None of This Is True. Oh,
there is no way on God's green earth that this guy read a book in the 18 nights he was on the cruise. There's no way.
The book that they chose, I guess it was like a public thing. And it says here, the next day from his cabin with the branded Atria Hot People Read Books knapsack draped over his couch behind him, Sebastian announced that Will Dean's 2020 thriller, The Last One, was the winning book. Maybe messaging going on that this will be the last book that he will ever read. Publishing PR veteran Kathleen Schmidt astutely noted in her e-newsletter that not only does the novel take place on a cruise liner, but it's also the only one of the 8 that did not receive robust media coverage upon publication, throwing into question whether the vote may have been rigged.
Weird.
All right, let's see. I know you love this guy,
I don't know anything about him.
Sebastian. I got a little bit more from Mark Sebastian. This is footage from him inside the Serenade, and you'll get a glimpse of what it's like to travel to Antarctica.
It's Gotchabon time, baby, except I am on the Drake Passage on my way to Antarctica.
Okay, for those of you just listening,
Choppy waters. Drake
he's
Passage,
sitting next to
famously choppy.
Yeah, he's sitting next to a big round window right on the ocean there. And yes, a wave comes and hits the window and completely covers the window. Scary.
Thought I wasn't gonna bring Gotchabon to Antarctica. Are you crazy? It's been a little crazy today. Nothing too bad, but it's been a little intense. So what do we got here? It has been a journey, all right. Apparently, I have made it onto the Crown and Anchor Facebook group. I don't know what a Crown and Anchor society is, but apparently it's important in world. Day 2, let me move my antidepressants out of the shot. Day 2, Antarctica.
Oh, did you hear that, Basil?
Of course.
Let me move the antidepressants out of the way of this video shot I'm making for Simon and Schuster. Here we go.
In world. Day 2, let me move my antidepressants out of the shot. Day 2, Antarctica. We're at Elephant Island. This is the fit. Wrangler beanie. Phipps sweater. Filson puffer. Phipps faux fur vest. Acne jeans. Swiss engineering boots. And a great vibe. Tonight is the penguin party on the 9-month cruise, and I don't know what to wear. I didn't bring a suit. Well, so what do I wear? What if I put this white shirt underneath this black vest? I feel like that gives sort of penguin. Penguin party is apparently a very big deal. They have balloons. They're taking it seriously. I'm gonna be so hot. This is cashmere. I don't think this gives Gwyn. Are there penguins that aren't black and white? You ready for this? Because I'm a genius. I'm a baby penguin. I haven't got my black and white. I'm a little baby penguin. I'm a baby penguin. What do you guys know about baby penguins?
I cannot do this anymore, guys.
So a new discovery. Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Clearly in the bottom of our planet. Advanced
Climate crisis.
We need a revolution. Look, the energy on that cruise needs to be balanced out. We need a man of principles to be around the TikTok.
Get that Viking guy. Who's that Viking guy who jumps off of cliffs and stuff?
I'm talking about me, Gonz. About me, not the Viking guy. I can do Viking stuff, but, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Alex Jones video game needs to sponsor me. Alex Jones video game. You don't even need to pay for it. Just do the paperwork for me. Here's some fun stats at the end of the thing.
Oh, so, yes.
Whether or not TikTok users previously recognized the imprint's name, that's Atria, the sponsor, has been a dominant presence in the bestseller lists. Blah, 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 blah. It's too early to tell if and how Atria's investment, around $7,000 for the 18-day trip, that's a pretty good deal, has paid off financially. Okay, we're talking about the sponsorship. What has the sponsorship of this TikToker who has over 2 million, what is it, 1 million followers?
It's like 1.5 million.
1 million followers. Let's see how it's paid off. At outlets that report to Circana Bookscan, book sales for The Last One. The Last One is the name of the book that he was allegedly reading on this cruise. The Last One saw only a small bump following the announcement that Sebastian would be reading it on the cruise. The week of the January 6th announcement, here is the numbers of books that this 1 million plus follower TikTok star, quote unquote, helped sell. The week, January 6th, of the announcement, it sold 247 copies.
It's a tough life, man. Authors. It's a
that
rough
is
life.
a rough sell. While the previous week, so the week that before he made the announcement, it sold 193 copies.
Oh, wow.
An increase of 54 copies. Now, look. They spent $7,000 on the trip, which I thought sounded a little low. I thought these guys were making more money for 3 weeks of your life, to put your whole life on a boat for 3 weeks. Kids making $7,000. Like, okay, I mean, that's good. A lot of people would kill for that opportunity. It's a lot of money, but 1 million followers money. He sold 54 books.
If each book was $20, that's about $1,000, a little over $1,000. That's 1/7 paid off.
They're in the potty with this. Sebastian's announcement has received 2.6 million views. So 2.6 million impressions on his book selling tour, sold 54 extra copies.
I just did the math. That's 0.002% of the audience acting, or based on the 54.
Yeah, I think we finally found an economic proposition that's worse than our value for value model. The other 7 Atria books in the running for Sebastian's World Cruise Book Club all saw decreases in sales. Oh my gosh. So I guess there's 8.
Advertise your stuff.
Yeah, so there was 8 potential books that he was going to read. I guess this was like the build-up.
Yeah.
He picked the one. They sold 50 extra copies of the one book he chose. And all the other books decreased altogether. This is a nightmare. This is the end of the influencer economy.
Let's read it all the way till the end. But the marketing stunt. Yeah.
At the very least, brought the publisher quantifiable visibility. Okay. According to TikTok, the hashtag Atria Books hashtag received 98,000 global views.
Hey, that's big.
98. Look, on TikTok, that's nothing. 98,000.
Yeah, but if hashtag Atria Books is getting nothing.
Book company.
Yeah, if you're a book company, all of a sudden you get 98,000 views. You're stoked.
But even if the kid himself posted hashtag Atria Books, he should have gotten more than. He's got 1 million followers. Anyways, who knows? I don't know. Doesn't sound like it's worth to it. Atria Books. Between December 12th, and January 15th, the last one, hashtag the last one for the book, has received 4.8 million views. Okay.
Well, even worse. I mean, that's good that it's 4.8 million views, but if you only sold 54 copies.
Sold 50 books for, in total, about 7 million views. Huh. All right. Well, you know what this does is it does give me some optimism for like when we finally write our books, Gonz.
Yeah,
because I think we could match 54. I think we could sell 54 books if we wrote a book.
Or I think
one of us wrote a book.
I think it's a great way to evangelize to Gen Z. Just tell them, give them some money, go on a trip, but you have to read these books. You got to do a book report. Make the books our kind of books. Like an L.A. Marzulli book and a Dr. Heiser book or something.
You want to pay some influencers to read our books.
Yeah. And then tell us the best one. The brand trips idea here, influencers and the brand trips concept is becoming more popular, so we can do that.
Yeah, we got to mix it with the L.A. Marzulli thing. It's not brand trips. I don't know why anybody would watch the videos this kid is putting out, but we need to mix it with like some L.A. Marzulli, like brand investigations, like brand-based, Burning Man investigation, brand-based Nephilim hunting, something like that. I hate that idea. I hate all of this.
Brand-based Nephilim hunting.
I hate everything we're coming up with here. Value for value is the way to go. At least we'll have our pride, Gonz.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm back on the kid's page here. I mean, he is averaging 500,000 views on all these TikToks of him talking about random things.
Yeah.
Drama at the Penguin thing. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, it says something that he's a role model here.
Apparently,
he's got that. He can dress like a penguin if he tries.
I do. I understand why, like the culture, the countenance.
Yeah.
Based on what Gen Z, where they're getting it, it must be TikTok, because that's what I got out of it watching. Just the way he talks, the way he thinks about things.
Yeah, it's a milieu. It's a very special milieu. Oops, my antidepressants are in the way.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Oopsies.
Yeah, that says it all, I think. All right, there you go.
It should be. I'm telling you, some cool company should sponsor me to go. Like, oops, my Glock was in the shot. Sorry. How did I get a Glock on the boat? I don't know. I got cool sponsors. Oops.
Yeah, every piece of clothing that he had on that one clip there was all sponsored stuff too. So yeah, you just got to find someone and cover him with Canary Cry
Basil's
stuff.
Bunker. Basil's Bunker is going to sponsor.
There you go.
All right, everybody. I think we stretched this show out about as long as we possibly can.
This is the longest show we've done in a while.
Yeah, I'm impressed with us, Gonz. It's like the old days.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who has produced the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Thank you just for listening. Again, tell everybody. Remind the entire squad. We will not be broadcasting on YouTube until further notice. We'll keep you posted as far as alternatives go. This happens every once in a while. It's an election year. Get used to it happening a lot. This is definitely kind of giving us a kick in the pants to setting up our own little server, because it's only going to get worse. But thank you to those who are signed up for the email list, for the text message alert system, for everything that got you here today. And of course, just to the podcast listeners who just listen on their podcast player. Isn't that nice? It sounds better there too. No video yet, but we're working on it. But we got some producers who come in with their time and help us out with stuff, and I want to thank them right now, starting with the timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
That's right, timestampers. They are the faithful commandos who make sure that we get timestamps for every single episode, often immediately after the episode. We love them. We owe them our lives. And I'd like to thank producer Jade Bouncerson for timestamping episode 707.
Thank you, Jade Bouncerson. Appreciate you.
Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Clink for clanking. And thank you for everybody who shares the show. Word of mouth. That's the way. We're not going to advertise on another podcast, although I could see us giving it a try if we get desperate. But more than anything, it's you. It's you, dear producer. Maybe the value that you are able to put into the show now is just screaming it from the rooftops, posting it on your social media, taking an ad out in the paper, whatever the case may be. Find a way that is unique, that showcases your talents that the Lord himself has bestowed upon you. We are all unique pieces of art, and in that way, we should flex whatever muscles God gave you. And here's the thing. If your way of sharing the show is going on a cruise and brandishing masculinity in an offensive way that gets Gen Z tuning out, or perhaps inspiring them to another way of being, that's a pretty good way to do it. So get on that cruise ship. I don't care if you buy a ticket, sneak onto the ship on a shoreline like a little rat stowaway. Do that. Hide in a barrel of potatoes with your phone and just start recording, baby, because that's what the world needs. More stowaway TikTokers. Enough of this corporate-sponsored nonsense. It's time for the stowaways to take over the TikTok algorithm and really find a way to worm Canary Cry News Stock into your content. We'll sponsor you. I will give you a burlap sack so that you blend in with the other potatoes. So if you want to be a sponsored sack of potatoes, We will do that. I'll put the logo on the outside. Nobody will know that you're not a sack of potatoes, and can then just do a bunch of selfies and stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's just one way to do it. You don't got to do it that way, but you can do it any way you like. As long as you know, all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gonz, you got any last words?
Oh, thank you for all the birthday, I guess, wishes. I don't know. Birthday messages. Appreciate it.
Comments.
Thank you very much.
Threats.
Comments, love, threats, mostly coming from you. Yeah, we'll see you Wednesday. That'll be World Economic Forum Founded Day. Yeah. Are you there?
Okay. Wow, big day. Yeah, big
Yes.
day. The lag is popping off right now, but big day.
Yeah. I don't know how the RSS is going to sound
all
with
right.
this lag.
Yeah, I don't know. We will find out. But thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
We're all gonna die.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world. Give me a break. This is not about freedom or personal choice. Armageddon's on the way.
Toilets! 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 Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths!
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!
They love killing. You're moving up with lots of charm. Come on, man, you're just an arm. Hey, Flippy, please don't take my girl. Flippy, don't take my girl. Hey, Flippy, please don't take my girl now. Please don't take my girl.